Welcome into Falcon Park as the Doubledays take the field. They'll have a rematch against the Geneva Redwings, a matchup that did not go in the favor of the Doubledays last night as Geneva took that one 17 to 11. Doubledays trying to get back in the win column. Back in the win column here at Falcon Park. My name's Luke Backman, Ryan Story, my broadcast partner here with me. Ryan, last night a tough night all the way around, both offensively and defensively for the Doubledays. What do you want to see them try and clean up tonight to get back in the win column?
Luke, I'm actually going to copy something that you said heading into last night's game. The Doubledays need to start stronger. You had mentioned that as a key focus point for them heading into last night's game, and they clearly didn't listen, falling down 15-0 after 3 innings of play. When the Doubledays are down, obviously 15-0 is kind of a fluke, an outlier, but even still, the Doubledays have just too consistently allowed 4, 5 runs in the first inning or so. That's not sustainable for long-term success. And this Doubledays team is a squad that is expecting to be at the top of the PGCBL. If they had won last night's game, they would be in a three-way tie right now for first place in the West Conference between Batavia and Niagara Falls. Auburn would be right up there with them now. They're still a game back, still just half a game ahead of Jamestown. Auburn could really use a win here against a Geneva team that had just 7 wins on the campaign.
I 100% agree with you. Getting off to a faster start, you mentioned there's not going to be. I'll go on record saying there's probably not going to be any more games this season where they fall behind 15-0 after 3, but not falling 4-0 after 3, or just being able to stay competitive in your ball game and stay within striking distance. I totally agree, and I also think they just need to cut down on errors both defensively and offensively. Plenty of errors in the field last night, along with errors on the base path. And that's something that even against teams like Geneva, who might not have a great record or a record up to par with the Doubledays, they'll still take advantage of them, and we saw that last night on full display.
With Geneva especially, that's where you really can't have any errors because this Geneva team has almost zero power behind their bats. We saw it in last night's contest. 17 runs scored by the Red Wings, yet just one extra base hit, and that was late in the contest when the game was all but over. So if you're Auburn and you limit the mistakes, you make the plays you're supposed to make, the only way Geneva can beat you is by getting lucky. And if Auburn manages to limit those errors, then that takes luck right out of the equation.
On the mound here, starting for the Doubledays, making his second start of the season, is Eric Kornzanuski, as he will get ready on the mound as the leadoff batter here for the Red Wings for the second consecutive night. The designated hitter, number 11, Zach Banks, as he readies in the box. And the first pitch in tonight's ball game will be a strike on the outside part of the plate. Count 0-1. Ski readies on the mound. As his 0-1 pitch will be hit in the air out to left field, as that one's just going to drop outside of the outstretched arms of Alex Vasquez, who's playing shortstop here tonight. So that will be a leadoff single for Zach Banks and the Red Wings, something we saw plenty of the leadoff man in innings for the Red Wings getting on, whether it be via singles, walks, or even a hit by pitch. Doubledays trying to stop that trend here tonight.
Yeah, Zach Banks went 3 for 3 yesterday with 3 walks to go along with that. He's continuing his hot stretch. He leads the team in batting average as of right now.
First pitch here to J.D. Robinson will be fouled off. Robinson playing shortstop tonight. Robinson also hitting .333 so far on the year. Is the pickoff attempt back at first. Got to keep an eye on Banks, who has 13 steals, had 2 steals just last night. 13 steals on the season, so immediate threat to run as soon as he gets on. 0-1 pitch is going to be hit in the air. That's a little pop-up. As coming in from the outfield is going to be Gianni DeCerbo making a sliding grab. He was heading towards the line. Good job from DeCerbo as that ball kept flying a little bit out there, and DeCerbo running in is able to make the grab for out number 1.
One important thing to note about Johnny DeCerbo, he's one of the few players on this Auburn squad that has a perfect 100% fielding percentage. He has not made a single error this entire campaign. When he's out there in right field, there's a marked improvement in the defensive end.
Pickoff attempt is going to get past Kehoe at first, heading to the backstop. That's going to advance. Banks to second. He's rounding, and he's going to take a wide turn at second. He's going to stay there as Banks kind of looking at Thomas Eaton, the third base coach and manager. The hand's like, oh, I would like to try my luck getting to third. Banks, obviously a speedy base runner, is going to hold it second here. Just that's another unforced error from the Doubledays that's just going to advance a runner 90 feet and now put Banks in scoring position for Briggs at the plate. First pitch to Briggs will be in there for strike number 1. Korzeniowski, this is his second start of the season. Started in a doubleheader game against Jamestown. Went 6 innings in that ball game. You got to give him credit. 6 innings, 4 runs, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. Got absolutely zero help from the offense as that one's fouled off for strike number 2 in that ball game. Doubledays were actually no hit, so no offensive help for Korzeniowski in that ball game. Hoping for something different here tonight as he gets ahead of Dylan Briggs, 0-2 in the count. Looks back at second, now delivers the 0-2. That one's going to be hit in the air, but slicing foul into the bullpen by the clubhouse of the Red Wings. Briggs finds a way to stay alive.
Doubledays desperately need Korzeniowski to be able to last a long time in this contest. Rotated through 6 pitchers in last night's contest. Having the back-to-back, the Doubledays could really use a good 6, maybe even 7 innings from Korzeniowski.
That would be ideal as the 0-2 pitch fouled off once again. Briggs playing spoiler right now as he remains down in the count, though, 0-2. Doubledays having a back-to-back with the Red Wings here at Falcon Park. Then on the road at Jamestown tomorrow. And we'll be back at Falcon Park for 3 Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week. Pitch high. Count now 1-2 to Briggs. And showing their support here on a Saturday night. Great night for baseball here at Falcon Park as Ski Reddy's on the mound. 1-2 pitch is going to be in there for strike number 3, and Dylan Briggs knew it. He will go down looking for out number 2, bringing up cleanup hitter Aiken Santana, the third baseman.
Santana had a very up and down game yesterday. Started off electric in the batter's box with 2 early multi-RBI hits. Also had another RBI later on in the contest to get up to 5 total on the game, but had 2 key errors and multiple other defensive mishaps that really hurt the Red Wings in their effort.
As that one's going to be caught by a sliding Bobby Hardy, Superman style, to end the inning and prevent the Red Wings scoring a run. Great diving play right there from Bobby Hardy in center field, as that'll be the end of the top of the first. Red Wings strand 1. Doubledays come to the bat looking to get off to a fast start offensively. Stay with us. There'll be more Doubledays baseball right after this. the southpaw Micah Sanders on the mound here for the Red Wings. He'll take on Tyler Vivacqua, the leadoff hitter, and then followed by Bobby Hardy, who will be on deck, and Kieran Kehoe, who is in the hole. Those would be the first three in the lineup for the Doubledays. Come to the plate. Looking to get on the board first as the first pitch here to Vivacqua is going to be swung on and hit out into center field, and that one will drop right in front of Dylan Briggs for a first pitch single for Tyler Vivacqua here in the bottom of the first inning.
Quick start for Tyler Vivacqua, who went 1 for 5 at the plate yesterday, but really showed out in the field over there at second base. Vivacqua impressed defensively. Now he's looking to bring some of that momentum over to the offensive side in today's contest.
Swinging and on the first pitch, great job by Vivacqua. Getting the pitch he liked and not letting it go to waste as he stands off of first base, a threat to steal. As the pitch here is going to be a strike to Bobby Hardy to make the count 0-1.
Interesting decision having Hardy in the 2 slot here. Normally we see Hardy around the 8, 9, or maybe even 10 slot in this Doubledays lineup as he has a bunt attempt right there. I'm curious to see if this becomes a trend with players like Tommy Kerwin, who normally takes up one of those top 2 spots in the lineup, ending up leaving the Doubledays, going to Wofford College. He's heading there today, actually. So he played his last game as a Double A day yesterday. But we might be seeing Hardy closer to the top of the lineup throughout the rest of the season.
100% Hardy was showing bunt there. One fouled off. Vivacqua was on the move as the 0-2 pitch is going to be just high for ball number 1. Count now 1-2 here to Hardy. Hardy this season batting .310. This is a pickoff attempt, not going to be in time. Hardy batting .310 with 8 RBIs so far in this campaign. As the 1-2 pitch is going to be strike number 3. Hardy was not able to check his swing. He goes around for out number 1, as that's going to bring up Kieran Kehoe, the first baseman here tonight, to the plate. Kehoe steps in the batter's box facing Sanders, the lefty. Pitch outside, throw down to second. It's going to be over the head and into center field. That's going to bring Vivacqua heading to third, and he will slide in safely. As on one pitch, Vivacqua goes from first to third thanks to a throwing error by the catcher Clark on the throw down to second.
Vivacqua is a terror on the base paths. We see that come into the equation there. Clark knew he had to put a lot on that one to get it down to second base in time, and he put way too much on it.
And
not even close to the infielders.
And if you saw that pitch inside for ball number 2, Clark actually kind of had trouble with the transfer on that throw. I think he would have obviously been better just eating the throw altogether. Tried to rush it because he was late on the transfer pitch outside for ball number 3. Clark tried to rush it instead, airmailed the throw over the bag at second base. Results in Vivacqua at third base now is count 3-0 to Kehoe. The pitch is going to be outside for a 4-pitch walk. Now Mark Gialusi comes to the plate with runners on the corners for the Doubledays.
Gialusi had a great game yesterday, went 3 for 5. Probably the Doubledays' strongest offensive presence, now looking to carry that over into today's contest.
Micah Sanders, the pitcher on the mound here, has no record in 4 appearances. This will be his second game started this season, gone 8 2/3 inning, given up 9 runs, all earned, 13 walks, as that one's drilled out to left center field. Going back is Briggs, and that's going to get over his head and hits the scoreboard for a ground roll double. As that actually is going to be a break for Geneva, as I think Kieran Kehoe would have came around to score. That ball doesn't bounce over the wall and onto the scoreboard, but either way, that plates a run and is an RBI double for Gialusi. Now Doubledays have runners on second and third with still only 1 out.
And that would have been an easy 2 RBI double if Gialusi's ball didn't take a hop and bounce out of play. Unfortunate for Gianluigi and for Kieran Kehoe, but with Gianni DeCerbo and Brendan Smith, all they have to do is just get a ball in play, and you could potentially see 2 more runs score.
DeCerbo fouls that one off for strike number 1. Infield is playing in now for the Red Wings, anticipating a ground ball. They're going to try and get Kehoe if he comes home with it. DeCerbo trying to find some grass out there in the outfield as the pitch is going to be inside for ball number 1. Count now even at 1-1.
I like the start from the Doubledays so far. Sanders enters this contest with a 9.35 ERA. He's someone that if teams jump on him early, he kind of shrinks, kind of gets back into his shell. So that one fouled off. So if the Doubledays can get a hot start here, it sets a great tone for the rest of the game.
Pitch fouled right there from DeCerbo. Now falls behind in the count 1-2. And this is exactly what we were asking for the Doubledays. Have a strong and quick opening start to this ball game. Plated 1, looking for more as the 1-2 pitch is going to be outside for ball number 2, evening the count at 2-2. Serbo, the right fielder, made a nice sliding grab in the top half of the inning, trying to add some runs here in the bottom half. Pitch is going to be hit right back up the middle to the outfield. That's going to be Briggs, the center fielder, fielding it. His throw coming into home is going to be not in time. Coming to score is Mark Gianluigi, and advancing to second on the throw is Gianni DeCerbo. Doubledays now lead 3-0 here in the bottom of the first.
Fantastic start from Auburn. They've seemed to have really bounced back well from yesterday's disappointing outcome.
Great heads up base running there from DeCerbo. Saw the throw, missed the cutoff man, went all the way home. DeCerbo immediately took off for second base. Kieran Kehoe easily was scoring there. And then coming around to score was Mark Gianluigi, putting on the Jets. Beats the throw for a 3-0 lead here. First pitch to Brendan Smith is going to be outside for ball number 1. So Doubledays jumping out to a lead. It was the Red Wings last night who jumped out to an early lead. Script has flipped, excuse me. Accidentally flipping those words. Is that one outside for ball number 2. Count now 2-0.
That'll cue a meeting between Clark and Sanders as they seem to be on completely different trajectories. They need to get their plans together and figure out what's going on, what the reasoning behind this subpar start has been.
We talk about last night's game and the 15 runs scored in the first 3 innings. For the Doubledays, you look at the rest of the game, hey, they scored 11 runs in 6 innings. So this is an offense. It's no surprise to us because we see them almost every day in every home game. Is that one outside for ball number 3. This offense is no joke and can get going with like the snap of a finger. So Red Wings know this can turn ugly fast in case they're not able to put a stop to it. Right now, count 3-0 to Brendan Smith. Sanders deals on the outside part of the plate for strike number 1. Smith taking all the way there.
The Doubledays can afford to be patient against Sanders. He's not a wildly inaccurate pitcher, but his stuff is enough to where you could normally just let it go out for walks, let it play out, as there's a walk right there to Brendan Smith.
Yeah, 5-pitch walk to Brendan Smith as he will take his base at first, bringing up Josh Thompson, playing second base here tonight. Thompson coming to the plate, native of New Jersey. Lefty on lefty matchup. Thompson gets ready for Sanders, who finds the pitch he likes and delivers. First pitch bends in there for strike number 1.
It was a really impressive pitch there by Sanders. Plenty of break on that, and right to that outside part of the plate, exactly where he wanted to put that.
Sanders looking to replicate that as the 0-1 pitch is going to be outside. Went back to the same type of pitch, but that one outside and low for ball number 1, evening the count at 1-1. 69 miles per hour was that pitch. Runners on first and second for the Doubledays. Pitch is going to be inside. Did it catch a piece of Thompson? No, it did not. He got out of the way just in time. That's going to be ball number 2, 2-1. Thompson doing some dancing in the box to get out of the way of that one. Fastball came inside quickly. As a 2-1 pitch from Sanders is going to be delivered and hit foul to even the count now at 2-2 to Thompson. We hope everyone had a fun and safe 4th of July last night. Appreciate everyone tuning in. It was a fun game last night. Saw some fireworks in the background as the 2-2 pitch outside. Good stop by Clark. Otherwise, the runners would have advanced there. As that pitch is going to be ball number 3. Now a full count here to Thompson. Runners extending their lead with nobody holding them on at the moment. As the payoff pitch is going to be swung on and missed right there. Nice pitch from Micah Sanders for strike number 3. As that'll be out number 2, bringing up Mike Bonfiglio, the third baseman here today, up to the plate.
We'll see how often Sanders goes back to that curveball. The fastball really wasn't working too well for him through the top half of this Doubledays order. Now it seems like he's found something, at least with that 69-mile-per-hour breaking ball.
100%. Started the at-bat with it against Thompson as he'll go here with a fastball low to Bonfiglio for ball number 1. Bonfiglio in the batter's box. The runners on first and second. And the pitch is going to curve in there. That's the exact pitch you were just talking about, Ryan, seemingly the one that Sanders has control of the best at the moment. 69 miles per hour. Curves in there for strike number 1. Gianni DeCerbo leads off as second. Brendan Smith off of first. 1-1 pitch with 2 outs is going to be outside for ball number 2. Count now 2-1.
Bonfiglio yesterday, 2 for 5, solid outing. Again, the Doubledays over the second half of that contest really picked it up with their bats. It was just defensively, they never really recovered as that ball gets away from Clark.
Clark has no clue where it is as he's going to not get to it in time, bringing Gianni DeCerbo to score from second. I don't think I've ever seen that before as the ball gets past Clark as he was still where the catcher is, right behind the plate, asking everybody, where is that ball? That ball was about 5, 6, 7 feet to his left, and he had no idea. Nobody was helping him. Gianni DeCerbo read it perfectly, immediately rounded third, saying, okay, I'm going to go for it. And he got to the home plate before the ball was even picked up there from Clark, scoring another run for the Doubledays. Count 3-1 to Bonfiglio is going to be swung on and missed for strike number 2 and loading the count. And that's what the Doubledays do best, taking advantage of errors from the opposing teams. Great job from DeCerbo. Heads up base running as the payoff pitch here is going to be high for ball number 4, walking Bonfiglio. Now runners on the corners. Caden Albright, the DH in tonight's contest, comes to the plate with runners on the corners for the Doubledays. 2 outs. Alex Vasquez, the shortstop, on deck for the Doubledays. They're the only 2 hitters that have not hit in this first inning. Sanders trying to get out of a jam. Pitch outside for ball number 1.
Bonfiglio, a threat to run over there on first base. We'll see if he does end up going, but at the very least, Sanders has to have that in the back of his mind that Bonfiglio could be going.
As the pitch is going to be in there for strike number 1. Count now 1-1. Sanders can sort of keep a runner on first, a little more honest because he is a lefty, so you don't exactly know whether he's going to try and pick off or go to the plate. Little slide step, excuse me, is going to be in the dirt. Bonfiglio thought about it for a second, but saw Clark was able to recover it quickly behind the plate. It's retreated back to first. It's going to be 2-1 to Caden Albright.
And it's been a rough start for Clark this game between the ball getting past him and the wild throw over to second. But he is a veteran presence, a senior out of St. John Fisher. He's not going to be making these mistakes consistently throughout this contest.
He's able to keep one in front of him there as that one in the dirt is now put the count at 3-1. Actually looked like Sanders slipped when he was delivering the pitch. As he falls behind in the count here to Albright. Hitters count 3-1. Bonfiglio on the move. Pitch is going to be grounded foul. Matt Petrosi showing off his fielding skills over there in the third base coaching box. Bonfiglio realized it was a foul ball. Kind of took a deep sigh, saying, "Oh, now I got to go back to first."
Petrosi giving a little showcase after his team had 5 errors yesterday, showing them how it's done firsthand.
Yeah, nice fundamentals there over there from the manager. 3-2 payoff pitch is going to be swung on and missed from Albright. That will mark the end of the first inning. But the Doubledays get off to a fast start as they score 4 and strike first here in this ball game. We'll be back with the second inning here at Falcon Park. Stick with us for more. We'll be right back after this. Back here in the top half of the second, Eric Korzanuski, he's gotten more run support and more hits just in that bottom of the first inning than he got all the 6 innings he pitched in his last start against Jamestown. Auburn offense coming through for him. First pitch to Braden Freeman will be swung on and missed for strike number 1. Doubledays flipping the script. It was the Red Wings who scored 4 in the first inning last night, as that one's going to be hit over to short. That's going to be barehanded play over to first. Not in time. Freeman just beats out the throw from Vasquez. Great play from Vasquez to even make it competitive. That little dribbler made its way out to shortstop. Vasquez played it the only way he could, but Freeman's speed beats out the throw.
Yeah, Vasquez tends to rotate between playing shortstop and third base. For a lot of teams, he would be their starting shortstop. Just unfortunate for him that Adam Sullivan is on the team, and Sullivan, one of the veteran presences, on this squad. Fantastic defensive leader.
100%. I mean, when you have those two as your 2 shortstops, you gotta feel pretty good. As here's the first pitch for Zanuski to Michael Sardu for strike number 1. That'll be called. Make the count 0-1. And leads off of first. Inching closer and closer He'll stay put. Pitch is going to be fouled off. Strike number 2 quickly getting ahead in the count. Korzeniewski now up 0-2 to Michael Sardou.
This is a 0-2 count, and it's one where we can see Korzeniewski get aggressive with his pitches, toy around with the edges of the strike zone. We saw Geneva's pitchers have plenty of success with that yesterday.
Pickoff attempt is going to be not in time. Good pickoff attempt. Looked like it caught Freeman for half a second. Was able to react in time to get back to the bag. He will remain off first. Sardou at the plate. Behind in the count 0-2. The pitch from Korzeniewski is going to be high and inside for ball number 1. Count now 1-2. Colin Clark, the catcher, talked about bottom of the first, is on deck. Jaden Madrid in the hole. The 1-2 pitch is going to be hit up the middle for a base hit. That's going to bring Freeman to second. He rounds second, but he'll stop right there. The throw from Hardy will be cut off by Vasquez at short. So the first 2 Red Wings up to the plate have recorded hits as Colin Clark comes to the plate.
We really need to see Korzeniewski limit the hits. Already 3 hits through less than 2 innings in this contest. Can't afford to be giving up these many singles. It's something we saw yesterday that Geneva capitalized on.
At the plate, Colin Clark showing bunt. Karen Kehoe very close to the plate. Bunt is going to be fouled down the third base line for strike number 1. Kehoe, I'd say like 10 feet away from home plate by the time that pitch arrived. Clark showing bunt early. Kehoe already playing in. Bonfiglio playing a little bit in. Clark tried to bunt it down the third base line, avoiding Kehoe at first. Not showing.
And if that bunt was fair, it would have been perfect, as that one popped up and the catcher can't get there in time, does make the throw over to first.
So that will be exactly what Colin Clark was looking for. Kind of mad he wasn't able to beat that one out, as that one popped in the air. Good job by catcher Gialusi coming out from behind the plate to grab that one and fire over to Josh Thompson, the second baseman, who was covering first base right there. But is able to advance the runners both. So now runners on second and third here for Jaden Madrid. He comes to the plate. Corners playing in. Pitch is going to be in the dirt. Good stop by Gialusi for ball number 1.
This is a spot, again, where we can see Korzeniewski get aggressive. Madrid, plenty of strikeouts on the campaign, just a .231 batting average. Go for the swings and misses.
Pitch is going to be grounded over to short. That's going to be Vasquez to first. Pulls Kehoe off the bag, as Madrid is going to be safe and a run is going to score there for the Red Wings. Madrid's speedy runner made it over to first in time. Throw a little bit offline, pulled Kehoe off the bag. He tried to swipe tag once he got it, but Madrid too fast, got past him. That'll bring in a run for the Red Wings. Still only 1 out in this inning. Runners on the corners. Jack Turner comes to the plate. First pitch is going to be low for ball 1.
Turner actually pitched a little bit in last night's contest. Didn't get to see him in the batter's box, however.
Red Wings not wanting to waste bullpen arms in a big blowout. Brought in Turner, who had pitching experience well this ball game. In last night's ball game, 1-0 pitch is going to be going the third at first. Play at the plate, not in time to Gialusi. The pickoff attempt went right. Kehoe held onto the ball a little late. Coming home to score there was Sardou. That's going to be a run for the Red Wings, cutting the lead to 4-2 and advancing to second. It was Jaden Madrid.
That's just Another unforced error for the Doubledays. Kehoe has to make that throw a bit crisper and a bit more towards that left side. Being on the right side of home plate was unfortunate.
That one's going to be lifted in the air. That's going to be Hardy coming in. He'll make the play for out number 2, fly out to center field for the second out of the inning, bringing up Casey Burkhoff to the plate. 4-2 ball game. Red Wings have responded with 2 in this top half of the second after Auburn started off with 4 in the bottom of the first. Burkhoff comes to the plate with 2 outs, and Jaden Madrid leading off second. First pitch is going to be low for ball number 1. Korzeniowski on the mound right now, trying to get out of a little traffic. The runner in scoring position, Madrid, going to cause Korzeniowski to step off. Looked like he was going to take off for third. Korzeniowski turned around immediately. Madrid put on the brakes. Korzeniowski stepped off the rubber. So back on now, getting set and delivering the pitch. That's going to be called a strike, saying Burkhoff could not check his swing. So that'll be strike number 1, evening the count at 1-1 here. He peers to Gianluci behind the plate. It's at second, now delivers 1-1 pitch in the dirt. Good stop by Gianluci right there. Count now 2-1.
Snagged that easily with his glove. That's a veteran play right there by the young catcher out of Villanova.
100%. If that one got past him, that's going to the backstop, and Madrid's going to third. No doubt about it, but stays just a ball, and Madrid at second. Korzeniowski comes set and delivers a 2-1 pitch on the outside part of the plate for strike number 2, evening the count at 2-2 here. 1 strike away, getting out the top of the second. Korzeniowski peers in, set on the rubber. Deals a 2-2. Pitch hit on the ground to Kieran Kehoe. He's going to charge to first. Korzeniowski covering first. The toss is in time for out number 3. Doubledays will come to the plate here. Red Wings get 2 in the inning. Doubledays looking to extend their lead. They do lead, though, 4-2. We'll be back right after this mess. I want to thank the sponsors on our screen in between innings, helping make Doubleday baseball a reality this summer. As we begin the bottom of the second, Alex Vasquez, the lone Doubleday hitter who did not come to the plate in the bottom of the first inning, will now step up. Is Micah Sanders on, trying to bounce back after that first inning. First pitch can be hit in the air, coming in, then going out, then coming back in again is Briggs, as he'll make the catch for first pitch out here. Vasquez flies out to center, bringing up Tyler Vivacqua, and the start of the order back to the plate for their second time around here in the bottom of the second.
It's the second straight inning where the Doubledays have swung at the first pitch they've seen from pitcher Micah Sanders. That time, not as successful as Vivakwa's first pitch single in his last time around.
Ryan noted Vivakwa, first pitch single, right back up the middle to center field to start the ball game. For the Doubledays, first pitch is going to be low for ball number 1 here to Vivakwa. Vivakwa making a few nice plays at second base last night as 1-0 pitch will bend in there, 71 miles per hour for strike 1, count now 1-1. Made some nice plays at second, diving plays, jumping plays, nice throws. 1-1 pitch in the dirt for ball number 2. Count now 2-1. 2-1 pitch from Sanders is going to be inside, just tiptoeing out of the way of it is Vivakwa. Count now 3-1. Shortstop and third baseman falling a little bit to the pull side of Vivakwa. Which hitter batting the righty box with the lefty up. Big hole where the shortstop, second base between them. Swung on and missed right there from Vivakwa. Count now full, 3-2.
We'll be seeing a lot of these tonight. Sanders throws a lot of balls, but also a lot of strikeout pitches. Is that one not even close to the zone for a ball?
Yeah, that went way over the head and the other batter's box for Clark, the catcher. As it gets to the backstop, as immediately Sanders looked at his hand like, you betrayed me. I lost grip or I slipped or something. Either way, that's ball 4. And Vivakwa is standing at first for Bobby Hardy, who struck out in his first at-bat last inning. Heads up to the plate. Aiken Santana playing a little bit in at third base, showing bunt, but pulling back in time is Bobby Hardy.
Yeah, on the campaign, Sanders averages nearly a walk and a half per inning. His strikeout totals almost near that, however, because he's a pitcher who will toy around with that zone, throws a lot of walks, but just because he doesn't have great velocity, a lot of players go swinging at his pitches, even though those breaking balls are really tough to hit.
Threw a breaking ball right there, was outside, so Hardy pulled the bunt back, snap throw to first, not in time as Vivakwa gets back to the bag at first. It's a 2-0 count for Bobby Hardy. Vivakwa will get a good secondary lead. No, he's just going. Bunt is going to be pulled back. It's going to be a strike. Throw down is going to be not in time. Vivakwa beats the throw for a stolen base there. Good throw from Clark on the money, but just second late, as it's got to be speedy to get Tyler Vivakwa. He's on second. His 9th stolen base actually this year. Pitch was a strike, so count 2-1 to Bobby Hardy. Pitch is going to be high for ball 3. Hardy steps out of the batter's box, re-enters in a hitter's count. Tyler Vivakwa at third. Big hole, 6 spot in the infield. Vivakwa taking off for third. Ground ball is going to be over to that 6th spot, but making the play at short, but not making the throw is Robinson. So Hardy is on with an infield hit here in the bottom of the 2nd. Vivakwa, who was taking off for second, taking off from second to third, makes it into third. No problems. That's going to have runners on the corners again here as Kieran Kehoe comes to the plate. And Thomas Eaton, the manager, is going to go to the mound to have a talk here with Micah Sanders. Doubledays threatening. Once again, the infield comes in for this meeting. As Kehoe comes to the plate, walked on 4 pitches. And his first at-bat in the first inning and came around to score as well.
Sanders has really struggled so far this game. We've seen just too many walks from him. 4 different walks. You combine that with the fact that the Doubledays are already up to 4 hits as well. That's 8 different batters that you've let on base. not something that you could have through just 12 batters faced. So we'll see how he manages to bounce back, because as I mentioned earlier, we haven't really seen Sanders bounce back from bad starts throughout his prior campaign.
As the meeting on the mound is going to conclude, Thomas Eaton retreats back to the dugout. Kieran Kehoe will step up to the plate. Again, Tyler Vivacqua on third and Bobby Hardy on first. Look for Hardy to take off for second. Maybe on this pitch or maybe some point in this at-bat. Takes a generous lead at first. Sanders staring at him, and Bobby Hardy's on the move. Pitch is going to be swung on, fouled straight back. Count will now be 0-1 to Kehoe. Hardy will return to first. That foul ball.
Hardy had a mad dash over to second, and I have a feeling he'll be going there again. The double still just makes too much sense for the Doubledays in this scenario.
As Hardy, was going, but the pickoff attempt at first doesn't deter him as he immediately was going no matter what. Heads down. Pickoff, yes, was in the dirt over there at first to Turner, so Turner didn't even have any time to try and throw to second to get Hardy as he is now on second. The infield now comes in an 0-1 count with runners on second and third. Pitch is going to be hit up the middle and past the second baseman. That's going to be Briggs in center, throwing home, cut off at second. So it's going to be a 2-run RBI for Kieran Kehoe. Doubledays get those 2 runs they gave up at the top of the inning right back. They now lead 6-2.
5th hit given up by Sanders, and it might be a quick night for him. 6 runs given up already, and you still only have 1 out this inning.
Kehoe took that one right back up the middle for 2 RBIs. And up Mark Gialusi to the plate, who himself had a ground roll double for an RBI back in the first inning. Actually, probably would have scored 2. That one doesn't leave the yard on a bounce. First pitch is going to be a ball. Gialusi. And that's also the second time this ball game where the pickoff attempt is going to get past Turner at first, sending Kehoe over to second.
That was just a weird throw from Sanders. Didn't look like he put all of his effort into that, and that sloppiness is what gives the Doubledays free runs, and it's part of the reason why this Geneva team has struggled throughout the year.
As that pickoff attempt gets past him, putting Kehoe in scoring position. A point right before the pickoff was second time that the infield has been brought in for the Red Wings. A ground ball has escaped them scoring a run, as that one's going to be hit in the air out to right field. There's going to be Freeman backing up, making the play. Tagging from second is Kehoe as he'll slide into third. Didn't even need to slide as the throw was cut off, but getting the uniform a little bit dirty, so no problems about that, as he'll be safe at third no matter what. On the tag up is Gianni DeSurbo, comes to the plate here with 2 outs in the bottom of the second.
DeSurbo in his last at-bat had a single, trying to replicate that magic with a runner on third.
2 runs scored as that pitch is wild. Again, Sanders looks at his fingers, saying that one slipped out of it. Serbo take a ball for the first pitch of the at-bat. RBI, 2 RBI, single, in the first. That pitch in there for strike number 1. Then advanced to second on a throw home from the outfield. Would eventually come around to score in the inning as well. Pitch outside for ball number 2 to Serbo. Heads up base running. Ball got past Clark at the plate. Serbo read it perfectly, scored from second to home. Pitch also outside. So just like that, count now 3-1 Gianni DeSurbo.
And Sanders has to be careful here. You get a walk, puts runners on the corners, and he's almost definitely taking second base here.
As that's the first part of the equation, a walk to DeSurbo. As I feel like I've said this a few times, same way we were talking about the Red Wings having the bases loaded all the time last night, Doubledays runners on the corners here for about the fourth time in this ball game. And just like Ryan mentioned, I mean, DeSerbo taking off for second feels like it's almost a guarantee. Maybe not on this pitch, but sometime in this at bat as Brendan Smith steps up. Sanders, the lefty, looking at first. DeSerbo not going here. Pitch is going to be inside for ball number one. Brendan Smith, who walked in his first at bat on 5 pitches. Crowd here in Auburn getting into it. Night at the ballpark on this Saturday. Pitch going to be swung on and miss, and there goes DeSerbo heading to second, stealing it without a throw or a contest.
Despite the miss, it's a great swing from Brendan Smith. The 82-mile-per-hour fastball is probably the most hittable pitch that Sanders throws, and something that the Doubledays have really jumped on throughout the start.
1-1 count is going to be fouled past third base. Smith falls behind now, 1-2. And like you said, 2 good swings from Smith. Swing and miss on the first strike, and then the foul ball there. Like he's seeing the ball out of Sanders' hands well. Make something happen. 1-2, going to be high. Went to the off speed. Did Sanders for ball number 2. Count now even at 2-2. Sanders, the lefty on the mound, readies. His leg and deals. That one's going to be hit in the air, out to left field. Backing and going back is Madrid, making the catch. What a great play from Madrid, who was playing in. A little too far in, but is able to track that one down for out number 3. But the Doubledays get 2 runs back. They now lead 6-2. We'll be back with the top of the third right after this. Back here for the start of the third inning. It'll be the top of the order for Geneva. Zach Banks comes to the plate. Had himself single in his first at-bat. Lead off the ball game. There, Rosanus back on the mound. First pitch will be in there for strike number 1. Banks taking that one. So one pitch going to be swung on, hit foul. Quickly ahead in the count is be 0-2.
Banks is the most dangerous hitter on this Geneva squad for a plethora of reasons, whether it's his power, his ability to just get on base. By far the biggest concern that Korzeniowski's going to have with this lineup.
Stepping back on the rubbers, Korzeniowski peering in, ready to deliver. 0-2 pitch, just outside. Good pitch right there. Just outside for ball number 1. Good pitch when count 0-2, so have a little bit of room to play with, but play around too much with Banks at the plate. 1-2, going to be low. Count out even 2-2. Banks, I believe that's a pink bat he has, or at least the barrel. I know that's a pink bat. Hey, seemingly working very well for him as he sees ball number 3. So after 2 great strikes, 3 consecutive balls here in this at bat. Ryan, if you were to have a colored bat, what color would you go?
I'd go purple, got to rep the colors of my high school alma mater, you know? I feel like it's important. Plus, purple's just a great color for a bat.
Purple is extremely nice. Payoff pitch is going to be hit in the air out to right center field. That's going to be Hardy tracking it and making the play out there in deep right center for out number 1. Start this inning.
We've seen Korzeniowski throughout this contest be very efficient with his pitches. Right there, he realized he had some balls to use, so he was feeling free to use them. But throughout this contest, 34 pitches, 25 of them have been strikes.
Efficiency so far is the first pitch here to J.D. Robinson. Will be right down Broadway for strike number 1. J.D. Robinson to the plate. Go out to right field in his last at bat. Say, gotta give props to J.D. Robinson wearing a turtleneck right now. Here, it's not too hot. It's 84 degrees. Pitch going to be lined into center field for a 1-out hit from Robinson. Yeah, that might be the power of the turtleneck right there. 84 degrees, but here on the field pregame, it felt warm. Definitely
It certainly did.
A little bit muggy, I think we were saying it was. So, turtleneck, props to Robinson as he stands on first with that 1-out hit, bringing up Dylan Briggs, who struck out looking in his first at-bat. As the pitch is going to be swung on and miss. 83 up in the zone, gets Briggs swinging for strike number 1. Takes a look back at first. Robinson. We're going to see a pickoff attempt. Robinson didn't have too big of a lead there. Making sure he knows. He's paying attention. As he'll now focus his attention back to Dylan Briggs at the plate. Fielder fights game. The 0-1 pitch is going to be hit in the air. Chasing after it for a second is going to be Gialusi, the catcher, but realizing that one's out of play. Stop in his tracks and head back to the plate. Korzeniowski quickly adding the count, now 0-2 to Briggs.
Briggs struck out in his last at-bat. Korzeniowski trying to replicate. That's still his only strikeout so far this game.
Up in the count, 0-2. Finds the sign he likes. Pitch he likes is just going to be high for ball number 1. Count now 3-1. Excuse me, not even close to the count. Count 1-2. Writing down the number 3, that's why I said that. Excuse me. So 1-2 is the count. Korzeniowski pitch is going to be inside. Ball number 2. Count now even at 2-2. Korzeniowski trying to not have a repeat of the first at bat against Banks. Had 2 straight strikes and then 3 straight balls. So far, 2 straight strikes and then 2 straight balls. And this at bat to Briggs, trying to find a put out pitch here. As the pickoff attempt, not get J.D. Robinson. He's back safe, sliding into first. Auburn pitchers have been aware of Geneva base runners throughout these 2 games here at Falcon Park, knowing they can be on the move at any time. Even count 2-2. Pitch is going to be in there for strike 3. Second consecutive strikeout of Dylan Briggs. Both looking as that'll be out number 2 here in this 3rd inning.
Korzeniowski has just absolutely had the number of Dylan Briggs today. Now Aiken Santana trying to right the ship for Geneva.
What a beauty of a pitch. Absolutely froze Briggs right there at the plate. As you mentioned, Aiken Santana now up, flew out to center field in his first at-bat, pickoff attempt. Bring J.D. Robinson back to first base standing. Is not allowing Robinson to get any breathing room there at first base. Pitch from Korzeniowski will be high to Santana. Start the count at 1-0. Tyler Vivacqua playing a little bit closer to the bag. Not Tyler Vivacqua, that's Josh Thompson second, excuse me. Alex Vasquez playing a little bit off of the bag at second base. That one's going to be hit right up the middle. That'll be into center field for Bobby Hardy. That'll be a 2-out single. Aiken Santana keeping this Geneva team alive in the top of the 3rd inning.
And that brings up Braden Freeman, who he singled in his last at-bat, also went 3 for 6 yesterday. So Freeman has consistently been able to get on base. We'll see if Korzeniowski is able to put a stop to that.
Yeah, Freeman and Sardu, who's on deck right now, both had singles to start the 2nd inning. First pitch is going to be outside for ball number 1 to Freeman. Out, so Korzeniowski and the Doubleday defense just looking for one more to send their offense up to the plate. He comes set, delivers a 1-0 pitch. It's going to be hit on the ground. Kehoe makes the play. Head over to first, but Korzeniowski covering the toss is in time for out number 3. Similar to how the 2nd inning ended. Kehoe to Korzeniowski. That'll get Doubledays out of the traffic jam in the top of the 3rd. We'll come back for the bottom of the 3rd. Doubledays leading 6-2 here this ball game. here in the bottom of the third inning. A little bit of an extended half inning as we had a incredible rendition of God Bless America here tonight. Josh Thompson is going to come up to the plate. Struck out in his first at-bat of this ball game. Micah Sanders still on the mound for his third inning of work. Doubledays hold a 6-2 lead, scoring in both of their at-bats so far in this ball game. 4 in the first, 2 in the second. Now come to the plate in the third, looking to add on as home plate umpire puts on his mask, and we're ready for action here in the bottom of the third. Sanders, the lefty on the mound, readies and deals the opening pitch of the inning is going to be low to Josh Thompson. Count now 1-0.
Sanders at 64 pitches right now, having already given up 6 runs. Can't imagine he makes it longer than the third or fourth inning.
That pitch high for ball number 2. And I think, yeah, if you're Thomas Eaton, the manager, you're hoping you can push him into next inning. But if you see any trouble here in this inning, you might have the green light to go ahead, turn it over to the bullpen as quickly he falls behind to Josh Thompson. 3-0 in the count. If Thompson has the green light or is taking all the way, that one's going to be low. Thompson taking it for ball number 4. 4-pitch walk is how we will start the bottom of the third. And Mike Bonfiglio, who worked himself a full count walk in his first at-bat. See some players in the bullpen for Geneva looking like they're stretching. Still not throwing, though, so got to think it's still going to be Sanders for at least a few batters here in this inning. On the move here is Thompson. Pitch is going to be in there for a strike. Throw down is going to get into the outfield, but Thompson, who slid into second, isn't able to get up in time to make it to third. He'll stay on second, though, with a stolen base here.
It's a second wild throw we've seen from Clark down to first base. He really has to improve his throwing, or else the Doubledays are just going to run on him all day.
Interesting, had the one error earlier on the throw, but also had a throw down to second against Tyler Vavakwa that was on the money just half a second late. So a little bit wild what we've gotten here from the catcher and his throwdowns. That pitch is going to be in there for a strike to Bonfiglio. Count 0-2 here. That first pitch was also a called strike before the throwdown. Sanders, the lefty on the mound, looks back at second. Keep Thompson close. 0-2 pitch going to curve inside for ball number 1. Now 1-2 to Bonfiglio, who's going to step out, readjust the batting gloves. Steps right back in. Sanders. Again, looking at Thompson. Back at the plate, back at Thompson. Now at the plate, 1-2. Spiked in the dirt, gets past Clark behind the plate to the backstop, advancing Thompson over to third, and also evening the count. Sanders, little pat on his chest to Clark, saying, hey, that's my fault right there. As that advances Josh Thompson 90 feet closer to home. That wild pitch. We have an even count, 2-2 to Bonfiglio, working his way back after 2 strikes to start the at-bat. Infield in, 2-2 pitch is going to curve too much inside and will hit Bonfiglio as he'll take first base. And the phrase we've said all night so far, runners on the corners for the Doubledays. 69 miles per hour was that pitch that hit Bonfiglio, so, you know, a little bit of a love tap on the back from the baseball right there.
That was that breaking ball that's been working so well for Sanders tonight. That time just placing it, starting it over the middle, and then it curved all the way in to hit Bonfiglio right in the back.
The 2 previous pitches had been inside, almost hitting the foot of Bonfiglio, but that one does hit the back. First pitch here to Caden Albright is going to be outside for ball number 1.
And this is where Sanders' accuracy issues are really affecting his performance because he can't throw his go-to pitches because he just can't seem to get the control under wraps.
Pitch is going to be there. A fastball for strike number one. Count even at 1-1. Albright in the box here, facing the lefty Sanders, who struggled on the move, then stopping, then going is Bonfiglio, but it's not going to matter because that was a foul ball. So count now 1-2 to Albright.
Bonfiglio looks like he's going to run here, but has to be wary of the pickoff attempt. Doesn't want to get stuck in a pickle, even though he still could make it over to second.
Yeah, we saw a pickoff attempt just low, but was the right move from Sanders earlier in this ball game. Staying at first is Bonfiglio. Ball in the dirt. Now a delayed steal. He's going to make it to second with no throw. He wasn't going at all. Then saw that ball was in the dirt. Honestly, didn't get away from Clark too much. Staying in front of him, but realizing Clark wasn't going to get up in time and throw to second, especially with a runner on third. Bonfiglio said, all right, I'll just take off and I'll swipe second. No doubt about it. Count even at 2-2 here. The Albright pitch high. Full now is the count 3-2.
A walk here would just be absolutely devastating for the Red Wings and would probably be the last walk that Sanders would be able to throw.
Pitch is going to be hit in the air. Madrid's not going to get to that one in left field. 2 runs are scoring easily. Here is coming around second, going to third is Caden Albright. Cut off, going to be offline. That is going to be a 2-run triple for Caden Albright, going the out to left field with that one over the head of Madrid. That'll bring the lead up to 6. Doubledays lead 8-2 here in the bottom of the third.
A great hit there from Caden Albright, who hasn't played in the last few home games, had taken a quick break, but the Cortland kid showing up and displaying his power. That's why he's a D1 baseball player.
Great job there from Albright. He scores 2. Infield still playing in here as Alex Vasquez comes to the plate. First pitch is going to be a ball. Albright fell behind in that count and then was able to work his way back, found a pitch to hit. Hit that one out to the wall out there in left field. Backing up really quickly was the infield. Interesting strategy. They were in for the start of the pitch, then motion begun, and coming home with Sanders and everyone in the infield, it looked like it was choreographed, actually backed up. Count 2-0 here for Vasquez. So now a ground ball would definitely score Albright 2-0 high. Ball number 3. Count now 3-0. Still nobody out in this inning. Albright leading off the third. Vasquez 3-0. Pitch is going to be outside and high for ball number 4. Ryan, guess what I'm about to say?
Runners on the corners.
You nailed it once again here in this ball game. Runners on first and third for Auburn. As Jack Turner, pitcher in last night's game, comes over to talk with Sanders here in tonight's ball game, as it has not been Sanders' night so far. Still trying to battle as he's going to face the top of the order in Tyler Vivacqua once again here in this ball game.
That's going to be the first baseman in Jack Turner, just sitting right there on the bag waiting for the pickoff attempt.
Pitch is going to be in there for strike number 1 to Vivacqua, who's 1 for 1 with a single and a walk. Vivacqua's third at-bat in as many innings, similar to Zach Banks having 4 at-bats in 4 innings last night. Leadoff man for Geneva, pitch in the dirt. Now going to second, throw down to second is going to be air-mailed into the outfield, scoring Albright from third and sending Vasquez over to third himself. That'll boost Auburn's lead up now another run. 9-2, they lead in this ball game. Auburn.
Clark has just had an absolutely atrocious start to this contest. We'll see if he can bounce back, but 3 wild throws, 2 of them turned into free bases for the Doubledays, as well as a catching error. Just can't have that if you're him.
Auburn leads 9-2. That pitch side for ball number 2. Count 2-1 to Vivacqua. So runner on third. That's a Vasquez pitch, curves and bends in there for strike 2 to even the count. Infield playing back. They were playing in earlier in this ball game with runners on third, then realized, I guess, balls were getting past him in the infield when they played in, so they're playing back, almost surrendering a run. That's a little dribbler back to Sanders on the mound. He looks back. Vasquez at third, around and makes the throw over to first to get Tyler Vivacqua for a much-needed out number 1 from Micah Sanders.
And if you're the Doubledays, all you need is that one runner on third and Alex Vasquez to get in to score the run, and then you're looking at this inning as extremely successful. Already have the 7-run lead. That would extend it to 8 and likely be the end of the day for Micah Sanders.
Yeah, Auburn scored 4 in the first, 2 in the second, and now 3 in the third. Looking to see if they can put up a fourth, but we're going to see the pitching coach actually come out and make a bullpen move here, as that's going to be the end of the night for Micah Sanders. He will be replaced, as we will come back right after this for info about the replacement. Stick with us after the pitching change. Auburn leads 9-2. Back in the bottom of the third, Doubledays, a 7-run lead. Bobby Hardy at the plate, taking on the new pitcher for Geneva, Michael Focus, the fourth. This pitch to Hardy's going to be outside for ball number 1.
Focus, a righty out of Franklin Pierce on the campaign, has a 12.0 ERA for this Geneva squad, but he's shown his ability to impress on this team last year did much better. This is a veteran on this Geneva squad, so the Doubledays can't take Bokus too lightly.
First three pitches have been outside for Hardy. Hasn't even needed to take the bat off the shoulder yet. Focus hit a little. His warm-ups, a couple of them actually reached the backstop, so trying to pull the command is the 3-0 is swinging, going to be hit over to third. That's going to be Aiken Santana fielding and throwing to get Bobby Hardy, but the ground out will produce a run. Alex Vasquez comes to home plate, scoring the 10th run of the ball game for Auburn. They now lead 10-2. Karen Kehoe to the plate.
That hit exactly what the doctors ordered. Obviously, Vasquez would have liked, or sorry, Hardy would have liked to have gotten the hit, but at the end of the day, all you needed was that one runner on third to come home.
You would trade the out for the run there for the Doubledays. That's the fourth of this inning, 10th of the game. That first pitch is low for ball number 1 of the at-bat to Kehoe. Focus, high leg kick. That pitch is going to be grounded to third. Santana coming in, fielding, and throwing. Replica of that last at-bat as well. The 5-3 put out will end the inning. The Bokus comes in and gets 2 ground outs. Bobby Hardy's ground out produces a run. The 4th run of the inning. Auburn leads 10-2. Bottom of the 3rd. We'll be right back with the top of the 4th right after this. Stick with us for more Doubledays baseball. Top of the 4th here at Falcon Park. At the plate, Red Wings, who trail 10-2 in this ball game. Flip has been flipped. Gotten off to a quick. That one's gonna be Bonfiglio. Third baseman, try to get in front of that one. Able to come up grounders that'll allow us to reach space.
Just the fielding has to be a bit cleaner if you're Auburn. We saw some of those mistakes yesterday. Don't want to let those pop up too frequently, or else they'll carry over, even if they do come away with the win here.
It's Colin, catcher, at a sack bunt. Stat bat. Outside for ball. Grounded foul past third base to even the count up at 1.
Clark has really struggled in the field so far, trying to turn things around at the plate.
Funny, this is more of your stereotypical Doubledays game we've seen at home. I say that, meaning the Doubledays have the lead, but lose hit department 7-4. Think about 7-6, excuse me. As you think about just last inning, they only had one hit the 4-1 third inning. They are able to score a multitude of different ways on a miss for strike number 2.
And to be fair, they've certainly benefited from Geneva's sloppy play in the field, but that's what the Doubledays do. They capitalize on opposing teams' mistakes. Normally, Auburn is one of the most disciplined teams in the PGCBL. That's why yesterday was such a shocking twist when they had 5 errors.
Pickoff attempt good, but not in time. That's going to keep Sardu close at first. One-two pitch to Clark is going to just foul. Clark way ahead of that one, but just able to get enough to stay alive. As the count now 1-2. Ski. And the pitch. It's a strikeout of Colin Clark here for the first out of the inning, getting Clark to go down swinging out number. Went with the heater right there. Pitch. Ski. And Clark bringing Aiden Madrid, the left fielder. Been active as the Doubledays have been a lot of balls out there in left field. Some that track down, but some that have gotten over his head into the wall. And that bat will be outside for ball. Bag at second, that one's going to be hit in the air. Center field for base hit for Madrid. First and second. On with his second hit of the game. Jack Turner to the plate.
Yeah, Madrid batting just .231 this year for Geneva, but we've seen him be much more successful prior in his career, including a batting average of .372 during his time at Herkimer Community College.
This pitch here to Turner's going to be fouled off. Strike. Potential. Round ball swung on it from there. It's Turner for strike 2, so they head in the count. Ski. Turner flew out to center in his first at bat, falls behind 0-2 here in his second at bat. Rosanuski looks into the catcher. Gialusi finds a sign he likes and deals an 0-2 pitch. That one's going to be swung on and missed for the second strikeout of the inning, getting Jack Turner to go down on strikes 1, 2, 3 of Turner. So that'll be out number 2. Bring up the last hitter of the at bat, Casey Burcroft, to the plate, who's 0 for 1 here tonight. Burcroft steps up with runners on first and second for Geneva.
Korzeniowski on fire right now, up to 4 strikeouts on the night. And for a non-strikeout pitcher, that's pretty impressive.
That one was in there for strike number one. He's had command of the zone here tonight. Given up 8 hits, even with traffic on the bases. He's been in command, been on that mound. As the 0-1 pitch can be fouled off, and quickly now ahead in the count 0-2. That's something you love to see for Zanussi when he gets ahead in the count, whether it be first pitch strikes or following that up with another strike to go up 0-2. Looking for his third out of the inning, potentially maybe his third strikeout as well this inning. The 0-2 pitch is going to be hit in the air. It's going to get into right field. Coming in is DeCerbo. His throw to the plate is going to be high. Throw now, no throw over to third as Giuliani was not able to transfer that ball out of his glove quickly enough. So a run does score. Little blooper out there to right field to DeCerbo. Late a run for Geneva. They cut into this lead. They now trail by 7, 10-3. Runners are now in the corners for them.
That brings up Zach Banks, who, as we've talked about, is the most lethal batter on this Geneva squad. With 2 runners on base, Korzeniowski has to be careful with how he approaches this at-bat.
Banks at the plate for his third time tonight. Walked, flew out in his previous 2. As the first pitch is going to be outside for ball number 1. Said have to attack Banks carefully here. Still 2 outs in the inning. Good standing on third. Burkhoff at first. Pitch is going to be high. Ball number 2.
It wouldn't surprise me to see Korzeniowski not give a single hittable pitch to Zach Banks. That's how dangerous of a hitter he is.
Banks gets into one. He can send it a long way. He's in a hitter's count, being 2-0. That was a great pitch on the inside part of the plate there for strike number 1. Trying to battle his way back into this count. Still tracing at 2-1, but good fastball on the inside part of the plate. 2-1 pitch here. Low. Ball number 3. 3-1. Ball away from loading the bases for J.D. Robinson. Deck Geneva here tonight. 2 as well. Banks in a hitter's count. Trying to battle back. 3-1 pitch. Going to be a little dribbler. Back to the pitcher. Calmly fielding and throwing over to first in time is Korzeniowski as he gets out of a little traffic here. At the top of the 4th. Geneva does score 1 though. Still leads 10-3. We'll be back with the bottom of the 3rd and more baseball here at Falcon Park right after this. Mark Gianlucci steps up to the plate. Just at bat in the bottom of the fourth. That one's going to be dribbler foul for the catcher. 1 for 2 tonight with an RBI double back in the first inning. As on the mound still is going to be Michael Bokus the fourth. Right-hander. Steal a pitch outside for ball number 1.
We saw Bokus have some quick success against the Doubledays there in the third. Now trying to replicate that here in the fourth inning, going against a full squad this time around.
That pitch outside as well. Ball number 2, count now 2-1. Bokus on the mound. A high leg kick. I gotta give him props. I think if I tried that high leg kick, I think I'd be off balance falling off the mound trying to deliver a pitch.
If I tried that, I think I'd strain something.
You definitely would have to stretch well before your outing. Is that one outside? So after a first pitch foul ball, 3 consecutive outside balls have made this count 3-1 in favor of the catcher Gianlucci at the plate. The pitch, 4th straight pitch outside. So after a first pitch strike, 4 consecutive balls, be a walk to lead off the inning for Mark Gianlucci. Bringing up Gianni DeCerbo, who's had himself a game so far. Sliding play to start the game in the outfield in the first inning, then came to the first inning to bat, had a 2 RBI single and then a walk in the second inning. Comes to the plate here in the 4th inning. And that pitch will be outside for ball 1. Bokus having some trouble with the command here. 1-0 pitch. That one's way outside, getting to the backstop as Clark retrieves it, but not in time as Gianlucci makes his way over to second. Problems at all because of that wild pitch. So after strike to start the inning, 6 consecutive balls by the pitcher. It's here trying. It's back into the zone. Pitch can be hit on the ground over to it's Aiken Santana making the play to first in time. Now back across the diamond, not in time. Oh wow, it's that one actually got under the glove of the shortstop Robinson, but standing up after his slide was Gianlucci, and the ball actually hit Gianlucci, keeping it from getting past shortstop who was covering for third into the backstop behind third. That would have scored Gianlucci no problem. So, story short, Gianlucci over to third on that ground out for Serbo.
Just a tough break for the Doubledays, because that would have been a guaranteed run for Gianlucci had that gotten past him.
And here's a ball that gets past the catcher. Now the throw to the plate. Scratch that. No throw to the plate as Clark eats that. As Gianlucci scores. And I think more interestingly, he just dabbed while heading back to the dugout.
Little 2016 throwback looking like Cam Newton.
I have to clear that up after the game, but I'm pretty sure he dabbed. And I don't know if I've seen him in person in a while, but I like it. I think we can bring dabbing back here in 2025.
I think we could do it. Next, we'll see the water bottle flip challenge coming back or something like that.
I wouldn't mind it at all, as Auburn to run back here. They lead 11 in this game. Pitch is going to be outside again. Count 2-1 here to Brendan Smith. See, that one's going to be hitting the air out to right field. Smith is going to head on to second as that one gets to the wall. Freeman cover is going to throw it in as Smith is going to have himself a stand-up double here. Doubledays just all over the pitching here tonight from Geneva.
Each Doubledays player has gotten on base at least once, and Now with that hit from Brendan Smith, it's just going to be Josh Thompson and Mike Bonfiglio. Sorry, Josh Thompson, Mike Bonfiglio, and Alex Vasquez, who don't have hits. Those are three of the next four batters. So we'll see if they can snap their trends and get ahead of their own. Each of them, again, has gotten on base either via walk or hit by pitch.
A first pitch foul ball from Thompson. Thompson, Ryan mentioned, got on base via a walk in his last at bat in the third. And right before that double, I wanted to mention, see, on the base paths, after that walk he advanced to second via a wild pitch, then to third on ground out, but then advanced home on a wild pitch, and that's just great base running. Extra 2 bags on first just off wild pitches, great secondary leads leading to him easily being into safe both times. That one inside. Count now 2. Josh Thompson.
And you mentioned Gialussi's base running. What he did on that ground out to get over to third base, the hesitation, and then as soon as he saw the throw over to first, he made a mad dash for third base. Very smart veteran base running from the catcher.
100% score. 11th game. Is that one hit on the ground over to second? That's going to be Burkhoff on the run to first in time to retire Josh Thompson, but advancing to third is going to be Brendan Smith. To third, that Thompson ground out 4-3 is the ground out. Burkhoff makes a nice play on the run. And Mike Bonfiglio got hit by a pitch in the last at bat. 69-mile-per-hour off-speed pitch that hit him in the back. Made his way to first. Stole a bag. Pitch will be inside, on the inside part of the plate for strike number. Brendan Smith to a double. Advancing on a ground out. Stands at third here with 2 outs in the inning. Little tapper will be foul from Bonfiglio. He's now down in 2.
Smith, one of the bright spots in last night's loss for the Doubledays. In this game, impressing again, even though he hasn't really had the chance to flash his glove out there in left field.
2 pitches going to go behind the back of Bonfiglio and Clark. What a snag. Saves a run here. I don't know how he was able to see that because that was clear. Out of the hand behind the back of Bonfiglio. Stuck out his glove. Magnet in there to bring that ball. Saves a run. 2 pitch here to Bonfiglio outside. Another snag. Save it from hitting the backstop. Count even. 2-2.
And this is more what's expected out of Colin Clark. Only had 1 error prior to this game all season and a fielding percentage of .970. That's the type of player that we were expecting to see, not the player who's made 2 errors already.
2-2 pitch hit right back up the middle, and coming over to grab it is Burkhoff. He's going to have to fire quickly. In time! As Falcon Park is not happy with that call at all. I certainly think Bonfiglio beat that one out at first. With a stretch over there by Jack Turner. Is going to help make out number 3 and prevent another run from scoring. Auburn does score 1 in the inning to get back the top of the 4th run they gave up, but they were looking for more. Either way, they still hold an 11-3 lead. We'll be back with the top of the 5th right after this. Stay tuned. back here in the top of the 5th, as we're going to see a pinch hitter here in the lineup. As Chase Fogg comes to the plate here, as Eric Korzenitzky is going to still be on the mound, going 4 strong innings so far, working on his 5th. As first pitch is going to be outside to Fogg.
Fogg on the season, batting just 163, has really struggled so far, as that one's cracked fair over to left field.
Over the head of Bonfiglio, Fogg is going to head himself over to second, have a stand-up double to lead off this inning. As number 37, a new pinch hitter for Dylan Briggs here.
And Sam Fleming, also not a great batting average so far, just 207 on the year. Has a bit of power in his game, and one of the few players on this Geneva squad that's racked up a few extra base hits.
Swung on and misses the first pitch. Fleming for strike number 1. Korzenitzky get out of some traffic after a leadoff double from the pinch hitter Chase Fogg. Pinch hitter Sam Fleming at the plate will look at, good pitch, but not going to be called a strike. Instead is going to be just a tad low. Ball number 1. Count even at 1-1. As the 1-1 pitch is in the dirt for ball number 2. Count now 2-1 to Fleming. Thompson staying over towards the bag, keeping Fogg there, as that one's going to be drilled foul. Down the line at third to even the count at 2-2 here. Rocket down the third base line that went foul. Break for the Doubledays. Pitch is going to be foul tip, just getting a piece of it is Fleming to stay alive. Looked like he had another strikeout on the night, but Fleming just gets a piece of it.
And Korzenitzky does know how to see Fleming get on the base paths. He's a dangerous player when it comes to getting steals.
Stillman College, Fleming. Count 2-2, that's going to be just swing to stay alive, which he's able to do on the 83-mile-per-hour fastball inside. Fleming does a good job just staying alive here. Count remains 2-2. Josh Thompson keeping Fogg for there at second. Now back off the bag and get back into his position at second base. Pitch hit in the air. Mark Gialusi throws the mask. He's going to go over and diving, not able to make the play. That ball was going all over the place in the air, as Gialusi had to dive to give himself a chance there. Not able to make the play. Tough play it would have been for the catcher, as Fleming stays alive. Feels like he's on his about 5th life of this at-bat. He's going to see his 8th pitch, the at-bat upcoming here. Working quickly, sees sign he likes and deals a 2-2. That one's hit in the air. Coming in is the left fielder Brendan Smith, and he'll make the grab. Fogg not tagging because where that ball was hit is going to stay on second. That'll be the first out of the inning. Aiken Santana third baseman and cleanup hitter in tonight's lineup, comes to the plate. Job by Korzenewski battling there along with Fleming for a big first out. As Santana 1 for 2 in tonight's ball game. Gonna swing at the first pitch, and that's gonna be grabbed by Kehoe, thrown over to second. Not in time though. What a snag from Kieran Kehoe to save a potential run for the Doubledays as that one gets over his head. Fogg is coming around to score. Kieran Kehoe using every inch of his wingspan to grab that one for out number 2.
Yeah, just a great play there by Kieran Kehoe. Absolutely need that if you're the Doubledays to keep Geneva at a comfortable arm's distance away. Amazing play by the first baseman.
Braden Freeman now at the plate as the first pitch he sees will be a ground ball over to first. Kehoe bobbles it for a second, but then tosses Korzenewski, for out number 3. As that is going to be the third consecutive inning, or the third inning this ball game. A 3-1 putout will end the inning. No runs are scored for the Red Wings. 1 left on base. Auburn comes to the plate with an 8-run lead. They lead 8-3. We'll be back with the bottom of the 5th right after this. Caden Albright starts off the inning here in the bottom of the 5th. Doubledays hold an 8-run lead, 11-3 in this ball game. Albright tonight, 1 for 2. Got a triple. Last at bat sees the first pitch in there for a strike. 2-run triple, may I add, back in the 3rd inning. Auburn put up 4. Have scored in every inning this ball game. 4-2, 4, and 1, respectively, in each inning. That one, 58 miles per hour and hits the back of Albright. He will take his base here to lead off the bottom of the 5th. We're going to have a new pitcher here, Ian Baby. Started the inning off, so that was the pitcher that hit.
In general, not great when the first batter you see, you plunk him right in the back, but maybe a senior righty out of Reston, Virginia, attends Ferrum College. Has a 6.17 ERA for the Red Wings this season.
This pitch here to Alex Vasquez, going to be outside for ball Vasquez still looking for his first hit of the night. Walked in his last at bat. Pitch high. On the move is Albright. Stealing second is there safely as the throw. I won't blame that all on Clark, even though it gets to the outfield. Looked like the second baseman who came over to cover the bag kind of slipped up trying to retrieve that ball. But either way, the ball gets to the outfield, and Albright gets to second safely. The stolen base. That pitch was a ball, so it's going to be 2-0 to Vasquez.
Clark has just not been able to get down that connection with the second baseman on those pickoff attempts way high almost every time.
Pitch on the outside part of the plate for strike number 1. Count now 2-1 to Vasquez. Auburn realized that earlier in the game, the connection between catcher and second hasn't been there. Have been taking advantage ever since. As Baby deals the 2-1 high for ball number 3. Count now 3-1 to Vasquez. 4 errors for Geneva here tonight. 1 error for the Doubledays. A reason why we see the score the way it is. Pitch inside for ball number 4. Vasquez will take his base with his second walk of the night, bringing up Tyler Vivacqua and the top of the order up once again for the 4th time in this ball game. Vivacqua coming to the plate with runners on first and second. Nobody out thanks to a hit by pitch and a walk. Pitcher Ian Baby. Deacon Santana playing in. Maybe anticipating a bunt as Vivacqua was going to be swinging, and he hits that one out to center field. Playing in was Madrid, now going way back, and he's going to make the grab. Tagging from second is Caden Albright safely into third. Staying at first was Alex Vasquez. Runners will be on the corner. Good job by Madrid. Played shallow for a lot of these hitters from the Doubledays and been burned once there in left field. Moved over to center field with Sam Fleming playing left field now. However, Vivacqua certainly gave that one a ride, but Madrid tracking it down for out number 1.
Luke, the Doubledays still trail in the hits column 10-7 this game, yet lead with runs 11-3. That's where the errors, as you mentioned, play such a key role. The Doubledays have been much more disciplined in the second game of the back-to-back.
And on the move here is Alex Vasquez, and he will be into second with no throw. First pitch, a ball to Bobby Hardy. We've seen all night first and third for the Doubledays. Guy at first takes off second every single time. He's been safe and potentially even gone to third this time. Vasquez staying a second with Caden Albright already occupying third base. Second pitch to Bobby Hardy is going to be outside for ball number 2. Infield now playing in for Geneva. Again, ground ball. They're trying to keep Albright at third, nab him at home. Trying to hit one over the heads of the infield. Score 2. Pitch going to be hit out to center field over the head, and Madrid just able to get a hand on it, but 1-run score is coming right behind him is Alex Vasquez for a second run, and that's going to be a 2-run single for Bobby Hardy. His 3rd RBI of the night and extends Auburn's lead to 10. They lead 13-3 here.
Hardy racking up the ribbies, and now that makes the mercy rule come into the equation. Obviously nothing after the 5th inning, but per PGCBL rules, if the Doubledays maintain their 10-run lead through the 7th inning, then Auburn's going to be able to get out of here a little early.
Definitely looking at an early exit, as that's going to be a ground ball over to short, now to second, throw to first in time for a 6-4-3 double play. Get Geneva out of the inning, but not before Auburn plates 2 and extend their lead all the way up to 10. They lead 13-3. Be back with the top of the 6th right after this. Sunday. I just missed Saturday.
Ryan Story, Luke Beckman on the call here in the top of the 6th inning as the Auburn Doubledays hold a 10-run lead over the Geneva Redwings here on July 5th. 13-3 ball game with number 22 Michael Sardu up to bat for the Red Wings. Still Eric Korzeniowski on the mound. He's made it through 5 solid innings of work trying to extend his showing into the 6th inning as that pitch misses just outside. Up to 76 pitches on the night, but it's been an efficient 76. He's been working through the innings, not getting into too much trouble, and when he does get into trouble, he escapes it with ease.
Absolutely. He's been impressive on the mound in his second start of the year.
That pitch in there for strike one. Korzeniowski, a local product out of Lime High School, and he did some damage in Section 3, one of the best pitchers in Class D. Now here with the Auburn Doubledays. Hasn't gotten a ton of starts yet, as Luke mentioned, just his second start of the year. But so far, only giving up 3 runs, and 2 of those runs came in a second inning where things just kind of spiraled a little out of control, but he put an end to it quickly. I think Korzeniowski certainly set himself up for more innings pitched in the future.
Just missed the ball 3. I 100% agree with you. And you think about his first start, hey man, he gave up 4 runs in 6 innings. And his offense was no hits, so you can't always blame him if the offense gives you absolutely nothing that day. Well, the offense giving him more and then some. So it's been an all-around great day for the Doubledays.
That ball cracked over to Bonfiglio, throws it over and gets there in time. Great connection between Bonfiglio and Kehoe for the first out of the inning.
What a play right there from third base. Bonfiglio sliding to his left, covering, making the play, getting up and firing a dart to first in time for out number 1.
That will bring up Colin Clark, who had a sacrifice bunt in his first at-bat, struck out his last time up. Trying to right the ship here against Korzeniowski. That pitch swung on and missed. Clark going after it, not able to make any contact.
And truthfully, it's felt like Korzeniowski has gotten stronger throughout this game. I mean, first couple innings, runners on, few hits, and yeah, he's had some hits and runners on these last couple innings, but his stuff has just felt better and better as you see another swing and a miss right here from the Clark.
The strikeouts have certainly seemed to come in bunches throughout the latter half of this game. We saw it striking out Clark his last time up. He struck out Jack Turner. He got Dylan Briggs twice before Briggs was pulled from the game. That one nearly swung on, doesn't go, and the field umpire will rule that he did go. Wow, great decision there by the catcher in Gialusi. Look over to the field umpire, have him make the call, and that ended up paying off big time. Yet another strikeout for Eric Korzenewski.
A little bit of a delayed call from the field umpire, kind of building a suspense here at Falcon Park, and gives the fans what they're asking for. Strike out right there of Colin Clark. Korzenewski just dealing on the mound.
Certainly is dealing. Another strike thrown right there. That's Jaden Madrid up to bat. He is right now 2 for 2 on the night with 2 singles. That one swung on and just barely fouled down the left line. That would have been a stand-up double had that landed fair, but just pulled it a tad too much.
Madrid a little bit annoyed with himself, knowing just early on that pitch, like you mentioned, that ball stays fair. That's a stand-up double for Madrid. Got to be a half second more patient right there, and that ball probably stays fair. It's getting a great spot, up 0-2.
Madrid readies for the pitch, chops it over to first. Kehoe gathers it and runs it in himself, doing it all alone for the final out of the inning, as that's a quick 1-2-3 for pitcher Eric Korzenewski. As Luke mentioned, he's just been getting better and better. We'll be back in the bottom of the 6th as Auburn leads by 10.
Every inning except the first inning, the inning has ended with a ground ball to first base, or the first base being used. It's been first base, or Kehoe to Korzenewski 3 different times, with a 3-1 put out, and then in the 4th, Korzenewski a dribbler to him with Kehoe, and then Kehoe just going to it himself. I'm kind of hoping he tossed it to him.
For a life of Doubledays. You're on sale for $20 and add to your check, and we will draw a winning ticket at the end of the 6th inning.
Mark Gialusi up to bat for the Auburn Doubledays as they lead by 10 in this contest, still going against Ian Baby, the 3rd pitcher that the Geneva Redwings have put out there today. And Gialusi has done exactly what has been asked of him this game. Started things off with a double, then had a sacrifice fly, and a very patient walk in his last at-bat behind the plate where he's been catching. He's been brilliant, making great throws, great decisions, great stops. Gialusi has really excelled in every aspect today.
Yeah, we talked about this just last night, about rotation of catchers that the Doubledays have. Gialusi firmly in that rotation as he putting on another great game, not only behind the plate but at the plate offensively. You can't go wrong penciling any of these guys into your lineup if you're Matt Petrosi, whether they're an extra hitter, DH, or catching like Gialusi is tonight.
And one of those catchers the Doubledays lost today, Michael G. Martino, heading down with Tommy Kerwin to Wofford College, where they'll be getting some D1 baseball action throughout the summer.
Wishing them the best of luck. If they perform anything like they did this summer, they're going to have a great upcoming year at Wofford.
Certainly, and hopefully they're back here at Falcon Park next summer for some more PGCBL action.
Great for the Falcons fans to see him again.
It's a 1-1 count, swung on, popped up, and that'll be out of play. Behind the catcher, lands off the roof of Falcon Park, so now it's a 1-2 count to Mark Gialusi. Fouled off each of the last 2 pitches. After Gialusi, it will be DeCerbo and Smith, each of whom have a hit this game.
Funny saying this, but for Auburn, I'd say if you're on the offensive side of the ball right now, so that one's inside for ball number 2, you're looking to maybe add an insurance run. I say insurance while you're up 10 because of the fact, hey, the mercy rule isn't in effect if you get 3 more outs, but if it were to stay at 10 and Geneva scores 1, you continue playing. We saw that happen last night where Auburn scored 3 to make it a 9-run game, and we played until the 9th inning.
That one crushed deep into left center field, and that will be caught. Wow, an impressive play by the center fielder, Jaden Madrid, tracking that one, laying out for it. That looked like he was going to have no chance of that, especially with the power that Gianluigi has behind his swing. But fantastic play by Madrid, who seems to have been everywhere in the outfield today.
100% started the day out in left field, switched over to center because of some pitch hitting and defensive rearrangements. Again, I've talked about it. I think Madrid's playing, and this probably isn't his fault, but just alignment where he's playing, but a little too shallow. That one having to dart out into left center field, diving like he was Superman to make that play. Hats off to Madrid. What a play out there in center field to rob an extra base hit.
That brings up Johnny DeCerbo with 1 out on the board. That first pitch outside. DeCerbo 1 for 2 with a single, a walk, and a ground out. Hamilton College product has impressed both at the plate and in the field. That one grounded directly to the shortstop. Fogg throws it over and connects with Turner for the second out. A quick second out, mind you.
Maybe finding a little more footing here in this inning opposed to the last inning, returning the first 2 he's seen in the bottom of the 6th.
That could be the first scoreless inning that Geneva holds Auburn to this game. The solid stream coming in 4-2, 4-1-2. Auburn has been unstoppable in the batter's box. That's Brendan Smith looking to keep things going. He doubled in his last at-bat. Pitch comes in and is outside, ball number 1. Nearly 20 pitches in for Ian Baby, and both Bocas and Baby started strong. Bocas fell off a little bit, the first reliever there for Geneva, as that pitch in there for strike 1. Baby looking to avoid falling into the same fate. So now a 1-1 count, 2 outs on the board. We have not seen the Doubledays go down 1-2-3 at this game. That pitch upstairs, the breaking ball just doesn't get down enough, 69 miles per hour.
And a lot of off-speed pitches here from Geneva in their pitching rotation today, whether it be relievers or the starter on the mound.
That one off speed again, 63 miles per hour. Not nearly as much of a breaker, but does miss the zone. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Brendan Smith will be followed up by Josh Thompson and Mike Bonfiglio, each of whom have yet to get their first hit of the night. That one swung on, chopped foul by Brendan Smith. Just couldn't get clean contact, and that one hits it to the right side grandstands. Now a full count for Smith against Baby. As we hit 8:50 Eastern time here at Falcon Park, we thank you for joining us. Payoff pitch comes in and is way outside. Brendan Smith will easily take his base. The second walk he's racked up this game, and that'll put Josh Thompson up, who's 0 for 2 on the night with a walk of his own. The Doubledays have been great at being patient this game. That's where they've really excelled. We've seen nearly 10 base runners for Auburn just get on either via walk or hit by pitch.
Yeah, Auburn been able to get on all those different ways, and then when they've been able to get on, able to do damage on the base paths, fouled straight back on the first pitch from Thompson. I want to thank everybody for being here with us tonight. Also want to mention next Saturday, a week from today, HOA presents Cancer Care Celebration with the Doubledays here at Falcon Park. You don't want to miss this night at the park. It's going to be incredible. To top it all off at the end of the night, fireworks to go along with it. You don't want to miss it if you're in the area.
As that ball hit and lands just barely foul down the left side. And yeah, Luke, as you mentioned, the fireworks coming. Always great to have fireworks after a game, especially after a win. But here at Falcon Park. It just seems like the fireworks are a little bit more explosive and a little bit more patriotic.
Had fireworks just a couple weeks ago after you mentioned a win from the Doubledays, and hey, made that drive home after the fireworks show a little bit more sweeter, getting a win and then getting a show after the show on the field.
Pitch comes in 0-2 and way inside for ball one. Smith on first, Thompson at the plate. Thompson, a very patient batter. We see a lot of the times he's been in that 1 or 2 slot for the Doubledays this year. Great base runner once he gets on, but he's going to wait for the right pitch before he decides to go attacking it.
2 consecutive pitches inside there to Thompson. No doubt about it, he's taken those. Almost hitting him, but bending out of the way in time.
Thompson readies for the 2-2 pitch, counts been even up. Pitch comes in and high for the third ball of the at-bat, the third ball in a row. After we saw Thompson foul off the first 2 pitches, it's been 3 consecutive balls since then. And we thought we were going to see a quick inning here from Ian Baby, but now it looks like some trouble is on the horizon as that's a swing and a miss there. Big chop at it from Josh Thompson as Brendan Smith took off for second, but to no avail as it's a strikeout there for Ian Baby to send the Doubledays into the 7th inning with their first scoreless half inning of work. We'll be back for more Auburn Doubledays baseball here in the 7th inning.
I can't wake up to go to sleep. Just to wake up to that news.
A guy I follow on YouTube, he just posted an NCAA 26 video showing all the uniforms that are in the game.
Nice. Yes, we have some t-shirts to give away. Morgan's down on the walkway down the left field line. And he's got some t-shirts into the crowd. Wave your arm if you want a t-shirt.
I might know if I saw it. I thought I watched some of his videos.
Again, there are these videos that we have more annual group or so. So if you want to do some brand new, we're here at
LSU when he did a full game with no commentary, showing like the gameplay and stuff. Then he did a snow game. Some other YouTuber did Oklahoma, Texas. Then at Ohio State, Penn State did snow.
Nice work, Morgan.
They don't know that.
Gotta keep him happy.
New pitcher here for the Auburn Doubledays in the top of the 7th inning. It's Evan Frolick stepping in for Eric Korzenewski. Korzenewski with an absolutely fantastic outing. Made it through 6 innings of work. The 10 hits he gave up, maybe not the best on the stat sheet, but by watching the game, there's a reason that he only gave up 3 runs, and it's because he had his A game on today. An impressive 5 strikeouts from the young pitcher.
Yeah, Korzenewski certainly impressed me as he went 6 innings. Oh, as we're going to see a pinch hitter at the plate here, number 35. For Geneva, as Evan Frolick is on the mound for the Doubledays. And his first pitch is going to be high for ball number 1.
We're going to go with this being Stephen Pearson. We don't have an official confirmation of that yet. So Stephen Pearson up to bat for Jack Turner, coming in for Turner, who on the night is 0 for 2. Manager Thomas Eaton looking for a change.
But quickly to finish my point about Brzezinski, I think the most impressive thing was him going 6 innings, his second start of the season, going 6 innings in only his 2 starts as well of the season. So he provides length for you in that starter role.
There's a broken bat that goes maybe, or not a broken bat, but a thrown bat that goes maybe further than the ball did. That one went absolutely flying, made it all the way over to Thomas Eaton, the third base coach.
Pearson at the box goes no gloves, as I think he's going to look for some sticky spray so he can keep the grip of the bat. But yeah, you don't see the no batting gloves very often here, and that's why some guys feel maybe when they go bare hands and lose control of the bat, as that one went down to Thomas Eaton over there at third.
And that shot there had to sting a little bit coming out of the hands. It's just the force, the vibration goes right, ripples right through your arms. Couldn't have felt good if you're the batter in Pearson.
We saw Matt Petrosi field a ground ball earlier. I'd love to see Thomas Eaton field a baseball bat. That would have one-upped Petrosi. Field a baseball bat there, coaching third base.
Could have certainly tried as the pitch comes in, and Frolic is way high on that one, evens the count up at 2-2. That went all the way back to the backstop over the head of Gialucci.
Making sure the fans in the front row are paying attention.
Fans should be paying attention, even though this ball game is a 10-run difference on the scoreboard. The Doubledays have been explosive. 13 runs. They've impressed in the field. They've impressed running the bases. Auburn doing everything right today, seemingly. That went way high again, this time inside a little bit, making it a loaded 3-2 count after Frolic got ahead early.
Yeah, Auburn has come out tonight, really answered the questions about what happened last night. They were punched in the mouth last night early in that ball game, battled as good as they could in that game, but you're not coming back after giving up 15 runs in the first 3 innings. Tonight went on the offensive immediately and never looked back.
That pitch way high again, not close to the zone. So that's 3 pitches in a row that Frolic threw that weren't even toying with the strike zone. And now it's another pinch hitter for the Geneva Redwings. That's going to be number 24, Christian Bermudez, who's batting just 130 on the campaign with a 333 on base percentage. He steps in for Casey Burcroft, who actually singled in his last at-bat.
Getting their pinch hitters in, it's wide margin game.
That one high again, that makes it 4 straight that Frolic's thrown not even remotely near the strike zone, and that'll cue up a chat with catcher Mark Gialucci, who realizes after 4 straight pitches that really are not ideal at all, you just have to have that conversation, try to get into a rhythm and get their heads in the right space. As they're both chatting with each other, kind of talking out their strategy for the upcoming few pitches, how they're going to handle these new batters. Christian Bermudez, again, pinch hitting for Casey Burcroft. Bunch of changes as the Red Wings are trying to stay alive. They have 3 outs to score 1 run. If they score a run, they will avoid the mercy rule, at least for the time being, and the Doubledays will have to play the bottom of the 7th. However, the Doubledays don't have to hit in the bottom of the 7th if no run is scored in this half inning. So another pitch way high, and Frolic really needs to work on his control here. 2-0 count. Frolic's had 1 appearance prior in the season. In that contest, they pitched for a third of the inning, gave up 1 hit, as well as 3 walks. Just was not able to really perform well at all in that game. For a 27 ERA, still a bit deceptive, only has had a third of an inning of work, but that's another tough at-bat there with 4 consecutive balls. That makes it 7 consecutive balls between both Pearson and Bermudez' at-bats. And now Matthew Petrosi going to have a chat with Froelich. I'd be surprised if he gets taken out here, but that's certainly in the realm of conversation. With Froelich just not performing well at all. Obviously, the Doubledays aren't too concerned about blowing the lead, but when it comes to keeping the mercy rule, they do want to get this because we saw Geneva mercy rule the Doubledays just 2 matchups ago. Looked like it was going to be a mercy rule the last night, but the Doubledays escaped barely. Now Froelich will stay in the game as Gianluigi will sit out there on the mound for an extra few seconds to chat with his young pitcher. Froelich, a freshman going to Duville University next year. Still going against, or this time going against Zach Banks, who will not be getting pinch hit for. Banks 1 for 3 on the night after going 3 for 3 yesterday. Pitch comes in, and that one a bit closer to the strike zone, but still no good for an 8th straight ball. That pitch was significantly closer, maybe a step in the right direction for Froelich after that conversation. That went right down Broadway for his first strike in 8 pitches.
Crowd getting behind Frolic right there with a loud cheer after that strike. Help the pitcher here, new to Auburn, get his feet under him while he's on the mound.
Pitch comes in, and that's in there again. Another one right down the middle for a 1-2 count. After Banks, it'll be Fogg and Fleming, 2 pinch hitters. Banks, however, trying to extend the game just a little bit longer for Geneva. And now you have to imagine he's not going to be as patient. He's going to start swinging. That one swung on, fouled off barely down the right side. Still a 1-2 count, 84 miles per hour there on the fastball from Evan Froelich.
You know, for Froelich, just got to get that first out. And then, okay, your feet are wet, you're in the moment, you know, it goes out of your mind, the nerves.
Pitch comes in, swung on and missed. Banks got really aggressive there, chased a pitch that was a little too high, and Gianluigi going to go out there to chat with his pitcher again. This time, I think more of a congratulatory toss of the ball after striking out the best hitter that Geneva has to offer.
Yeah, Gianluigi going out there and saying, that's how you pitch. That's how we know you can pitch. Keep doing exactly that. Great sequencing right there from Froelich.
Now it'll be Chase Fogg, who had a double in his last at-bat, ripped one down the left side line for a stand-up double.
Great stop in the dirt right there from Gianluigi. Kept the runners at first and second not being able to advance because he kept that ball in front of him.
2 outs remaining for this Geneva squad. It's a 1-0 count. Pitch comes in, and that one is in there again. Froelich, his fastball has been on point. He started off missing high, but ever since Matt Petrosi went to go have that chat with him, his stuff has seemed to be a lot more concentrated. And another fastball, this time missing outside. 2-1 count.
And right now for Geneva, usually talk about hitters being confused on what's coming next when pitchers have a different array of pitches. Right now, Froelich shown, sometimes he can be wild, sometimes he can be right in the zone, so it is leaving the hitters a little bewildered.
That one cracked deep into left center field. That'll drop and looks to be over the wall. That's out of here. A 3-run home run for Chase Fogg. Absolutely crushes that ball for his second extra base hit of the night. Excuse me, they will call it a ground rule double. as it looks like the ball caromed over the wall, but it did land short first, so it won't be a home run. Would have been the first home run of the season for Chase Fogg. Instead, it'll just be an extra base hit.
The ball absolutely torched out there to left center field. And we couldn't really see because the way it was falling, the lighting of the scoreboard, and in the distance from us, we couldn't really see whether or not, but umpires figure out that one is a ground rule double, so Fogg at second, but a run scores no matter what, so that'll extend this ball game here tonight.
That will be Steven Pearson coming in to score, the pinch hitter, the RBI double for Fogg. And now we look at Sam Fleming, who he flew out in his last at bat, but he has the chance. A single or even a grounder really makes things much more difficult for the Auburn Doubledays as they try to extend their lead back up to 10. The second pitch fouled off for a 1-1 count. That curveball way high. That'll get away from Gialusi, and that'll let a runner score for free. As now it's just an 8-run lead for the Auburn Doubledays.
Yeah, that one just got away from Frolic, and Gialusi was trying to get to that one quickly. That got behind him, but ran into the home plate umpire, so that kind of stopped him in his tracks. His run was easily going to score, and Fogg moves over to second, no doubt about that.
2-1 count for Frolic against Fleming. Pitch comes in, fouled off, 2-2. Fleming for this Geneva squad. Big guy, a senior out of Stillman College, standing 6'3", 180. Big strike zone for Frolic to aim for. Can't afford to have another wild pitch that lets a run come in. That pitch just a tad too low, misses the zone, makes it a full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out on the board.
Frolic on the mound, just got to think, it looks like he's trying to aim these pitches. Just got to think you're playing catch with the catcher right now, not trying to have to pinpoint every pitch.
That one way high again, near the head of Sam Fleming, and now it'll be runners on the corners as Matt Petrosi will put an end to the night of Evan Frolic. He only managed to make it through a third of an inning. We'll be back shortly for more information on the new Auburn Doubledays pitcher.
You are right.
back here in the top of the 7th inning, and the Auburn Doubledays lead has been shaved down to just 8 runs as Eston Elko will replace Evan Froelich. Froelich made it through just a third of an inning. Now Eston Elko will come in. Elko with 7 appearances on the year heading into this contest. Now an 8th appearance, hit the most of any Auburn Doubledays pitchers. That pitch gets away from Gialusi, and another run will come in for the Geneva Redwings. Just unforced errors that not only prevented the Doubledays from getting a potential mercy rule, but now they could let Geneva sneak back into this ball game. Lead's been cut all the way down to 7.
Yeah, this inning has really been the Doubledays from last night not being able to take care of business that they need to, as that pitch fouled off right here from Santana. Doubledays, leaving the door just open right now for Geneva. Still a long way to go for Geneva, but hey, the door is still a tiny bit open.
Runner on second with Aiken Santana up to bat, and Santana nearly takes out his first base coach with that foul ball. Santana yesterday, though, had 5 RBIs, trying to replicate that here. Hasn't had the best of days today. Did have 1 single, but outside of that, flew out, lined out, just 1 for 3 on the day. Pitch comes in, and patience by Santana, doesn't go for Elko's swing, misses low, 2-2.
Just trying to get outs here. Runner in scoring position over there at second. Just trying to get outs.
Now when swung on, hit over to third baseman Bonfiglio, throws it down to first, and Kehoe makes the snag for the second out of the inning. Great play there from Bonfiglio. The connection between Bonfiglio and Kehoe this game has been completely on point.
Yeah, props to Kieran Kehoe. The dirty work. That one digging it out of the dirt right there to save an out. Good job by Kehoe.
That will bring up Braden Freeman, who's also 1 for 3 on the night. That's still going to be Sam Fleming over there at second base. 2 outs on the board. Freeman followed up by Sardou and Clark. As that one cracked over to Bonfiglio again. Bonfiglio bobbles it and can't get there in time. An error there from Mike Bonfiglio, who's had a great game in the field, but another unforced error there from the Auburn Doubledays that puts runners on the corners with a player in Michael Sardou, who's 2 for 3 on the night so far.
And Bonfiglio, I think he made the right move, just eating that ball, realized Freeman was going to beat the throw out there anyway, just ate it to prevent any other potential tragedy or error from on the throw. So good job there, at least eating it and keeping the runners where they are.
Pitch from Malco in there for strike 1. And he's looking for a strikeout here. 2 outs on the board. That would get him out of this inning with the damage limited. As the Doubledays lead still at 7, but gets a swing and a miss there. Big pitch from Eston Elko. As I was saying, though, if Sardou is able to put this ball in play, that would really let this Geneva squad get back into the game. 0-2 count, pitch comes in, and that's going to be Freeman going. The steal attempt gets there the throw down to second gets there in time. Great decision by Gialusi to catch Freeman running, and we saw, Fleming would have made it to home plate if the throw wasn't there in time, but because of the velocity that we see on Gialusi's arm, the throw was made in time, and that's going to be Elko getting out of the inning with the damage limited. 13-6 lead for the Auburn Doubledays. We'll be back here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
score 3 here, is it like a walk-off and we're done? Or
Again, Doubledays will return to action right here at Falcon Park this Tuesday night, July 8th, when they take on the Batavia Hot Dogs. First pitch is at 6:30, so please join us.
3-1-7
Tuesday
right
night
here.
at 6:30 at Batavia.
That would be nice.
Tickets are available at the conference or online at Auburn
Oh, we gotta
Doubledays.
figure out who's where for them in the field. So the picture of down to Pearson and Bermudez. 35 and 24. First base and short.
24 is at second right now.
81 for Doubledays, the third base.
Understood this.
Eastern Connecticut State, number 23, Figlio.
Kicking things off here in the 7th inning, it's Mike Bonfiglio, who made a few impressive plays there in the top of the 7th. Did have one error, but at the plate today, he's still looking for that elusive first hit. Walked in his first at bat, hit by a pitch in his second, grounded out in his third. That pitch comes in, swung out and whiffed by Bonfiglio. 1-1 count after a ball in the first pitch of the at-bat.
Auburn looking to get those 3 runs back. The mercy rule now not in effect, but if they are able to score 3, that would be like a walk-off in this scenario. Trying to get back active.
That one again swung on and missed. He's taking some monster attempts at it, just can't make contact, and that will be a strikeout, as the strikes on the board were a little off. So that's a strikeout for Mike Bonfiglio, who goes down 1, 2, 3. And now Caden Albright, who's had an impressive night, including a stand-up triple, steps up to the plate. Albright, the Cortland kid, takes one over the head. That pitch by Baby nowhere near the strike zone. And Baby's done a much better job than the prior 2 pitchers for Geneva of limiting the Doubledays' explosive offense. Also, might have seen a little bit of complacency from Auburn as that one cracked over to the parking lot. Watch out for the cars there, as that one was an absolute missile over past the Doubledays clubhouse.
Check the cars out there for that one. Albright just in front of that one, a little early. Pulled that one. Looking to time up Baby now. Good cut from that previous swing.
Pitch comes in, swung on again. This one will land with nobody there. However, the second baseman throws it in way off balance, and the catcher in Clark doing a good job of backing up the wild throw. That was actually Bermudez, who came in as a pinch hitter, now playing second base with a wild attempt at it. Really had no chance of ever getting out Albright, but certainly gave his all on that throw.
Yeah, good job even tracking that one down. I thought that was going to land. Well, like you said, nobody there. Showing the speed to get to that ball at least. Got to it. The throw offline, but at the end of the day, wasn't going to matter anyway. The speed that Albright has.
That brings up Alex Vasquez, the shortstop. And an interesting note, we've seen multiple substitutions from the Geneva Redwings. We still have yet to see a pinch hitter for Auburn today.
Yeah, Matt Petrosi sticking with his lineup he started the game with. We saw some names that were in the lineup last night that aren't in the lineup tonight. So, getting everyone still a fair amount of even at-bats as that one hit
That
the air.
Cracked up, and it's going to be the right fielder in Freeman coming down with it for the second out of the inning. A quick swing there from Alex Vasquez. Got some power underneath it, but just a little bit too much air and enough time for Freeman to gather it fairly easily. That'll bring up Tyler Vivacqua, who had a sac fly in his last at-bat, still with 1 hit on the night.
Yeah, coming to bat for his 5th time in this game. Vivacqua, the leadoff hitter. like every night he's easily going to be penciled in the leadoff guy for Auburn.
As it looked like Albright seriously considered going for a steal there and said he's going to be patient, wait for it. We have seen the Doubledays really tempt the catcher and Colin Clark to throw down to second. He's had 4 throws that have been wild down to second base. That pitch upstairs again for a 2-0 count.
Yeah, base runners for Auburn. No stranger is trying to swipe a bag, and tonight they've been successful in all their attempts to do so, even going to third. Error on the throw.
Pitch comes in, that one in there for strike number 1. 2-1 count as Tyler Vivacqua fighting to keep the Doubledays inning alive, keep their mercy rule chances alive. Runner on first with 2 outs on the board. Pitch comes in, Vivacqua swings at it, hits it directly to the second baseman. This time Bermudez right where he needed to be, and that'll end the inning. A second straight scoreless inning for the Doubledays as they head into the 8th with a 13-6 lead. Stay tuned for more baseball here on the Auburn Doubledays Sports Network.
Just not lucky enough.
No, I'm a Cobra.
Oh, wow.
You have
Dimming in the lights. Can you talk to the office game?
no, because I think these guys are the cool ones.
Do you have the graphic? Turn your lights on.
I got because I have it uploaded, but for some reason I won't play. So that's TBD.
I feel like you gotta get a bigger, like, what's the song you got on? It's gotta be more of like a, oh, I see fireworks from this one.
Back here in the 8th inning as the Auburn Doubledays have a 13-6 lead over the Geneva Redwings, but their chances at a mercy rule were shut down by a 3-run rally from the Red Wings in that last inning. Ryan Story alongside Luke Backman on the call. That first pitch by Estanelko comes in there for strike 1.
As Michael Sardu back at the plate because Braden Freeman was caught stealing to end the inning. So Sardu back here.
It's actually a pinch hitter coming in from Sardu. That's going to be number 5 in Tim Bowerman, who's only had 13 at-bats on the campaign for the Red Wings so far, batting just .077 when your batting average below 100. Not a great sign, trying to turn things around for his Geneva career. As it's now a 1-1 count. Elko's been solid so far this game. Was put into a tough situation with Evan Froelich not having the greatest of starts. That went way outside. 87-mile-per-hour fastball, just lacking the control.
Some distant fireworks here on the 5th of July out there in left center field. So, sure, some people just getting rid of the inventory they had from last night. We saw a nice fireworks show right after the game ended. Unfortunately, we couldn't get it on camera, but hey, we got to see some fireworks at the show from neighboring here. Obviously, no fireworks last night, but there will be fireworks on the 12th, something you around this area do not want to miss out on.
1 week from today, and the Doubledays certainly kicked off this contest with offensive fireworks, but have slowed down recently. No runs in the 6th or the 7th, as they're trying to hold Geneva to no runs. That pitch curves in for a strikeout. Great pitch by Eston Elko to take down Bowerman.
You mentioned Elko coming into the game in a tough situation. Yes, a pass ball on his watch, but other than that, he's been extremely well tonight on the mound. Excited to see him back in. For Elko, his biggest thing is command. When he has command, he's really tough to go against. He doesn't, opposing batters can work their way on via walks, but tonight he's shown the command has been there.
Great command on that last pitch, a 75-mile-per-hour breaking ball that caught the outside part of the plate. 0-1 count to Colin Clark, who is 0 for 3 with strikeouts in each of his last 2 at-bats. Count evened up at 1-1. That last pitch, just 66 miles per hour from Elko. We've seen him go as high as 87 and as low as 66 through just the 2 batters he's faced this inning. That pitch way high and outside again. 2-1 count, 1 out on the board.
Elko, I'd have to say, has one of the fastest fastballs on this team. You mentioned the 87 miles per hour. Certainly can bring the heat, and then as you mentioned as well, slow it down for you. So an array of pitches as a reliever.
That one high, 3-1 count. Yeah, Elko, normally a reliever for this Doubledays squad. Actually, he's only a reliever. Appeared in 7 games prior to this. This is his 8th appearance, and in each of those showings, he's been out of the bullpen for the Doubledays. As count now 3-1 against Colin Clark. And Elko will walk him in 5 pitches. Started things off with a strike, but 4 balls that weren't too accurate after that.
And that at bat kind of has summed up Elko's season to a degree. First pitch was a beauty, and then losing a little bit of the control on a couple of those high fastballs. Just something where once he's able to bring that ball down and have more control, as I mentioned, earlier in that at bat, he is tough to be at the plate. First at bat in this inning with the strikeout. The control is on. He is tough.
In the batter's box right now, it's Jaden Madrid, the left fielder. Started off at left fielder, now playing center field. He's really impressed in the field and at the plate at singles each of his first 2 at-bats. He's been the brightest spot for this Geneva team so far this game, but a great pitch there from Eston Elko for the 2nd strike of the at-bat.
I got to say, Elko's having better command with the off-speed stuff than the fastball. Last at bat, it was the fastball on 3 of those pitches he wasn't able to bring down. Off speed, 2 strikes.
That one hit high over to the right fielder into Serba, who gathers it easily for the 2nd out of the inning.
Elko went off speed on all of those pitches. I believe all of those were under 70 miles per hour. I believe the first one was actually 66 miles per hour. Hey, if that's what it takes right there, you got a quick 2 strikes, and then Madrid had to battle, try and protect the plate. Has to swing at that one on the outside part of the plate. Breaking ball, he flies out to right field. That can be a recipe for success for Elko if the fastball isn't on tonight like he wants it to be.
2nd strikeout. Elko has picked up this inning. Now going against another new batter. This time it's going to be number 15, Brock Rotterman, someone that we saw yesterday in the Geneva blowout of Auburn 17-11. Rotterman started at first base, or he'll likely be filling in on the defensive side as well. That one cracked down the left field line and lands foul over towards the Auburn Doubledays bullpen. Rotterman didn't have the best of outings when almost the entire Geneva team was going off at the plate. Rotterman really wasn't finding too much success. Also didn't have a great day in the field by any means. But Looking to kind of bounce back here. That pitch gets away from Gialusi. Wild curveball, 67 miles per hour. Just bounced right out of the glove. And Clark will advance to second on the wild pitch. Doubleday's lead is 7. They still trail in the hits department, however, 11-9. It's been a very Auburn Doubledays game so far. Really sums up how their season has gone, but they just can't seem to put away the Geneva Redwings. Another key theme throughout the season. That one in there for a great strike two.
A beauty of a pitch right there from Elko. Bending in there, absolutely freezing Ratterman as he didn't know what he wanted to do with that. Ended up just watching it fall in for a strike. Now it's 2 strikes in the at-bat.
Pitch comes in, and the curveball breaks in there for strike 3. All 3 outs were Ks because that's Eston Elko on the mound, absolutely dealing. Gets the Doubledays out of the inning with no more blood drawn, and the Doubledays will come back here in the bottom of the 8th. Stay tuned for more.
Yeah, I think he was playing first. I think he was. Oh, I don't think he was playing first. Oh, he might have. You can put this if you want. No, it's up to you. Perfect. 3 outs away. The dimming of the lights.
Back here in the bottom of the 8th, and in between the half innings, we saw the Auburn Doubledays faithful being serenaded by some young fans with Sweet Caroline, the classic bum bum bum. Luke, what's your favorite, it's like sing-along baseball song?
Ooh.
There's some great options out there.
I mean, I might have to just go with Sweet Caroline. Like you can't beat that. And I think the fact you said it was like the little kids singing it too. That song has gone through the test of time, and you have little kids singing a song that, I don't know, what did that come out in the 80s or something, 70s, 80s, sometime like that. I'm not exactly sure the release date, but I mean, and that's, baseball or any sporting event. I might have to go with Sweet Caroline. That might be a cop-out answer because we just heard it. But I think it's just such a classic. I might just have to go with that. What about you?
I think that's certainly fair because, as you mentioned, across all sports, Sweet Caroline always plays. When it comes to baseball specifically, Take Me Out to the Ball Game might have to be the answer just because it's so iconic to the sport. But in terms of just overall sing-along ability, you don't have to know Sweet Caroline. You don't have to know a single word. You just have to know bump, 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 and you'll have a great time.
Yeah, I think Take Me Out to the Ball Game definitely is one of the ones as well, up there with Sweet Caroline in that tier.
Yeah, they're both definitely S-tier songs.
Oh, yeah.
As it's a 1-2 count, Bobby Hardy fouled off that last pitch. Started off with 2 straight strikes on a ball and a foul ball. Hardy still going against Ian Baby. Baby has done a solid job coming in, relieving both Micah Sanders and Michael Bogus, who struggled. There's a count now 2-2. Baby still yet to give up a run.
Now I got to ask this. Another song we heard in between innings earlier in this game, the YMCA. I don't know if I rank that up there with Take Me Out to the Ball Game and Sweet Caroline.
That ball grounded over to first, and that's, or sorry, over to the pitcher, and Baby flips over to Ratterman at first for a quick out.
I don't know if I rank that among, the other two, because that's specifically like a dance song. YMCA obviously has its dance, and while, it's everybody knows it, that's going to get the crowd going. I don't know if that's, fits our criteria for baseball songs necessarily.
I'd agree with you. I don't think the song itself holds up the same quality as Sweet Caroline and Take Me Out to the Ball Game, unless you're at Yankee Stadium. Then I think it might improve it a little bit up to at least close to the same tier. But Sweet Caroline, Take Me Out to the Ball Game, going to beat that any day of the week.
100%. Hey, Yankees need any type of improvement right now. Losing 2 games to the Mets. This broadcast booth filled with Yankee fans right here, but we got Jimmy, our scoreboard operator, a Mets fan. He's been joyful these last 2 days.
Yankees haven't been playing great. The Doubledays on a much better trajectory, I'd say, as the Doubledays look to win this game.
3 outs away in the top of the 9th. Trying to add on here offensively.
2-0 count, 1 out on the board. It's still Kieran Kehoe at the plate, and he's let it get to a 3-0 count, being patient, waiting for the bright pitch. Kehoe on the day, 1 for 3, grounded out each of his last 2 times up. Pitch comes in, and that one will finally catch the strike zone. Kehoe lets that one go, waiting for the right pitch.
Yeah, taking all the way there, 3-0. He was letting Baby, throw whatever right there, but look at Kehoe ready to swing here.
That pitch chopped at by Kehoe. He fouls it directly down.
Got to give a shout out to the crowd here tonight. I'm sure you can hear the crowd like we have. Hey, they're still going strong here in the 8th inning. We're approaching 9:40 Eastern time. They're still going strong, rooting on the Doubledays, trying to help Kieran Kehoe find his way aboard here in the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, the Doubledays. Doesn't matter if it's a game where it's not too particularly close. The faithful will always stick around to the very end.
That's probably one of the biggest reasons why Auburn has been so successful at home this season. The home field advantage they have is certainly real. Opposing teams have struggled to leave the Falcon Ballpark with a win. Geneva only one of 2 teams to do so this season.
Yeah, the crowd pulse really sets in when opposing teams are trying to bat. As that one grounded directly to the second baseman, but the throw high, Ratterman, a tall guy, able to snag it. But that throw from Bermudez over to Ratterman, a little off target. However, that will be a quick 2 outs to start this inning. Now batting will be Mark Gialusi, who, as he mentioned in his last at-bat, he's been doing everything asked of him from manager Matt Petrosi this game, whether it's at the plate or behind it. He had an absolute monster of a shot to deep left center field in his last at-bat that just barely got snagged in an amazing play from center fielder Jaden Madrid, trying to kind of even things up here. He really wanted that, what would have been an easy stand-up double that drove in some runs, trying to get some revenge here for having that taken away from him.
Yeah, that was a web gem out there in center by Madrid, robbing extra bases from Gialusi, trying to get it back here in this count right now, 1-1.
1-1 after the foul ball. After Gialusi, it'll be DeCero and Smith, 2 players who have both impressed throughout the day. 9:40 Eastern time. Thanks for sticking with us. We're just over 2 hours into this, or excuse me, just over 3 hours into this game. Pitch comes in, swung on, hit directly to the second baseman, Bermudez, playing in the exact right spot, as he doesn't have to move a muscle, catches that ball and sends the Doubledays into the 9th inning, still with just a 7-run lead. We'll be back with more Auburn Doubledays baseball.
Oh, there it is. Light up your phones, folks. I see a few right here, yep.
I see some down there. Oh, there's got some people over there too. Jimmy, you might got a hit. You might have a hit on your hands. Got some people down there doing it over there. Jimmy might have a hit on his hands. Let the man cook.
There we go. Alright, come on, country.
Come on with the beat. I see a dude out there in the corner. He's getting to it. Jimmy, I think that was easily the biggest success of the season.
Oh, yeah. I may have started some.
Uh-oh. What's the evil genius cooking up next, though? It's always about the next move.
Well, if we get the light bulbs figured out, we could add the strobe effect. And I'm sure the neighbors.
Light bulbs, I'd love for this one to work eventually. At some point.
No.
No.
I can confidently say we're the only team that work at these
The only perfect team in the perfect game league that has a Jimmy.
We don't know that for sure.
No, I'm pretty sure about that.
Wait, as an employee or a player?
Not just like the name Jimmy, like a person Jimmy.
Yeah, just like you as
Your name isn't too unique. You as a person are very unique. And it,
I am unique. Yeah, we'll say that.
Yeah, there's no one like you on any of these other teams, I can guarantee you. Did you think I was saying no one has the name Jimmy across the whole league?
Oh, yeah.
The song goes forever.
Back here in the top of the ninth inning, Geneva has just 3 outs to work with as they trail by 7. And Luke, we heard Narcos by Timmy Trumpet playing in between innings. We've been on kind of a music theme as of late. What's your all-time closer song?
Oh, I mean, as a Yankee fan, you just got to go Enter Sandman by Mariano Rivera. I mean, I couldn't imagine being a hitter in the 9th inning, hearing that, Metallica, and then Mariano Rivera enters the stadium, jogging to the pitcher's mound. I mean, I don't think anything could ever beat that. What about you?
I completely agree with you. That's the objectively correct answer. There's only one true answer, and that is it. As that one missed on the button attempt. 1-1 count.
It's funny, like, I see all these rankings nowadays, and I think the recency bias has gotten to people that the Narcos, you know, Trumpets with Edwin Diaz. Obviously, incredible atmosphere when it first broke out in the game where the dude was live and he actually did it. Incredible. But, I mean, the greatest closer of all time is that one swung on and missed. I mean, you hear Enter Sandman, you knew your night was over, basically.
It's iconic, and I agree with you. I think a lot of people recently have just grown to Narcos, but Enter Sandman, just a better song, a better vibe. Even though Narcos has more of the upbeat feel, Enter Sandman was chilling for opposing batters. As that one, a little dribbler, and the catcher, Gianlucci, makes the throw over to Kieran Kehoe for a quick first out. Gianlucci having an absolute baller of a night.
And he's hyped up after that one, giving Elko a hard high five off the mound as he was. I got to give credit to Gianlucci. Incredible night, like you mentioned. Just on that little dribbler, he was able to get there, slide to gather it, then get up and fire a dart over the first. Hey, have yourself a night, Mark.
That will bring up the top of the Geneva order and Zach Banks, who struck out in his last at-bat. Banks was the only the only Geneva player fanned by Evan Froelich. Only out that Froelich was able to record before giving up a few runs. Is that pitch in there for strike number 2?
Credit to the pitching today for Auburn. they've really kept Zach Banks in check. He led off the game with a single. Other than that, fly out to center, ground out to the pitcher, and then a strikeout as well.
That pitch way outside. Good throw there from Eston Elko, trying to get Banks chasing with the 0-2 count. Now 1-2.
See the velocity there, 86 miles per hour on the fastball from Elko right there. Just not able to get it on the outside part of the plate. Still a good place to put it when you're up 0-2.
Elko up to 30 pitches, throws that one in, and nearly gets a swing from Banks. A check by Banks, good. That's the veteran presence there, able to hold himself back, contain his enthusiasm going after that breaking pitch. Now it's a 2-2 count.
I almost swung at that pitch from the press box. That was a great pitch.
That one fouled off. Still 2-2. Banks will be followed up by Chase Fogg, who's doubled in each of his last 2 at-bats.
Reason why we're still playing, truthfully, was able to score or drive in a run that cut the lead to 9 and take the mercy rule out of effect.
Pitch comes in and breaks in there for strike 3. The beautiful breaking ball from Eston Elko to sit down Zach Banks.
Wow, if you could see the break on that ball, when it left his hand, I was like, oh, that's going to be a hit by pitch. Curves perfectly into the middle of the zone. Beauty of a pitch from Elko, who again has had the off-speed and breaking stuff on point here tonight.
That will bring up Chase Fogg, who has been lethal in the batter's box. Doesn't swing at that breaking ball. 66 miles per hour, curves right in.
I mean, there's not much more I can say other than these pitches are phenomenal breaking pitches from Elko.
0-1 count to Fogg. That pitch way outside, doesn't get any break to it. 72 miles per hour, so certainly was trying to put some break on it, just couldn't get it to go. And one thing we've seen from Elko, a lot of his breaking ball strikes have been looking, because they look like they're not even going to be close to the strike zone, and then they just make their way in. Just like that one, but that one misses just barely, stayed a little bit too high.
Yeah, Fogg just able to catch, or check his swing, excuse me, in time. He was, going to be late on that one, but just held the swing back. Another good pitch, though, from Elko.
2-1 count, pitch comes in. That one, fastball stays high. 3-1 count. And a walk to Fogg here truly isn't the end of the world. He's been on fire recently, and with that 7-run cushion, you can afford to have 1 walk.
100%, and 2 outs in the inning.
Breaking ball fouled off down the right side to make it a full count.
Here we go, though. You're 1 strike away from ending this ball game. If you're Elko, if not Elko, excuse me, I think I'd go back to the breaking stuff. Fastball hasn't been the command. Breaking stuff has, and it's been extremely good here tonight.
I'd agree with you there. We'll see what Elko decides to do. Payoff pitch comes in and way in the dirt. Tried the breaking ball, but just didn't get it down. That's 69 miles per hour just at the feet of Chase Fogg, bringing up another pinch hitter and Sam Fleming.
Yeah, not mad at it at all with Elko. I think that's the right pitch. Just wasn't able to execute it. Either way, still 2 outs in the inning. Go attack Sam Fleming right now.
Fleming in his last at-bat worked a walk. Managed to nearly make his way all the way around the bases. That one right at the feet of Fleming again. That's 2 straight pitches from Elko that have been closer to the shoes than the strike zone. Looking around the PGCBL, Jamestown picked up a nice 16-12 win over Niagara. Batavia took down the Niagara Falls Americans in a game that has plenty of implications for the Doubledays. Also see Newark up by 2 runs over Elmira. Those are the primary games that affect the Doubledays in terms of the overall standings.
16-12, geez, a lot of runs. Hey, same amount of runs we saw last night, 28 in total.
And those games tend to last for a bit longer. Our game yesterday went all the way to 10:05 p.m. This game's kind of rivaling it. That pitch in the dirt for ball number 3.
2 games have proven not only a lot of runs on the board between the 2 teams, but they take a good amount of time. pushing 3.5 hours once again, but can't complain. Been fun 2 nights here at Falcon Park. Last night a little more fun with Auburn in the lead here so far.
Pitch comes in, and that's a 4-pitch walk for Sam Fleming against Eston Elko. Puts runners on both first and second. Not going to get a mound visit yet from Matthew Petrosi, but you will get one from Mark Gialusi. He'll have a chat with Eston Elko to try to calm him down, get him back in the right mindset. Just need one more out to escape this contest with a win over a Geneva team that Auburn's just struggled against throughout the year.
Yeah, I think Gialusi's probably telling Elko, you don't need to be perfect on every single pitch. I think Elko's going up there thinking he needs to place these pitches perfectly in the zone every time. Hey, you have a defense behind you for a reason. So the break on these pitches are going to cause, it's going to be tough for these batters to barrel up a ball, right? So with the break, let your defense help you out behind you. You don't have to go for, perfect placement every single pitch. So I think Gialusi's just reminding him, hey, calm everything down, we'll be all right.
That's now Aiken Santana at the plate. He's 1 for 4 on the day. Had 5 RBIs yesterday. Has a chance to get a few more onto his total as that pitch breaks in for strike number 1.
Again, just great pitch right there. Off-speed curveball. Drops in there for strike number 1.
2 runners on base. Pitch comes in, another breaking ball. This one also catches that inner left part of the plate.
Auburn now 1 strike away from securing this ball game.
Elko's got 2 looking strikes with that curveball. We'll see if he goes back to it here. Does go with the curveball, gets a swing and a miss to end the contest. Eston Elko takes down Aiken Santana swinging, and that'll be all she wrote here for the Auburn Doubledays as they secure a 13-6 win.
Auburn being able to bounce back here on their home field of Falcon Park in a big way. We talked about them getting off to a fast start. Certainly did. Scored each of the first 5 innings. Auburn was able to do exactly what they needed to do in this bounce back game here tonight.
Yeah, and Luke, who were some of the players that stuck out to you from today's contest?
I mean, I got to go Mark Gialusi, at the plate, behind the plate. We mentioned him all throughout tonight's ball game. I think, offensively, defensively, overall, he played the most complete game of anyone on the Doubledays, and that's a huge props to him because, hey, a lot of different Doubledays tonight played a great ball game as well.
Yeah, when you're hitting well, fielding well, and running the bases well, that's always a good sign. So Mark Gialusi definitely deserves a lot of credit. Also want to give some credit to both Eric Korzenewski and Eston Elko. Obviously had Evan Froelich in there, who is a young guy, struggled a little bit in his second appearance of the year, but Korzenewski had a very solid start, and Elko coming in relief and holding Geneva to not much offensively. Both of those guys showed out on the mound.
100%. Great start on 6 innings for Korzenewski. He's proven that he is a viable starter for Auburn and one that as they continue to go on in the season, will look to continue to get wins for this team.
This will move the Auburn Doubledays up to just half a game back of the Batavia Muck Dogs, and it will put them tied with the Niagara Falls Americans in the PGCBL standings. The Auburn Doubledays, 16-9-3 record in conference play. That's up to 17-11-3 in overall play. The Doubledays have put together a great season, and this win just another landmark on the road to them fighting for that number 1 spot.
Yeah, I'm looking forward as this season continues on here in July. Looking to see this Doubledays team in action more and more.
And the Doubledays get right back into the swing of things tomorrow. However, they are going to be on the road. You look at their road contest, they will be on the road on Monday against the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. That's an away game against the Jamestown team that swept them in their last matchup. So we'll see how the Doubledays are able to react. That's going to be a tough one. Our next home contest will be that's going to be on Tuesday against the Batavia Muck Dogs.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing Auburn, especially back here at home. Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday here at Falcon Park. So if you're in the area, make sure you come out. It'll always be a good time here at Falcon Park.
If you're not able to come out, tune in on the broadcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, turn on your notifications to hear more. I'm Ryan Story. That's Luke Backman on the call for the Auburn Doubledays tonight in a 13-6 win over the Geneva Redwings. Stay tuned, Auburn, and have a great rest of your night.